Good evening out there in YouTube land. This is Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. Hello, hello. With me today is Gary from Nerdrodic. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great.
That
I
is
am well
amazing.
fed and just feeling good. How about you, Tom?
I just ate myself, so I'm feeling all right. We may have some other special guests pop in here, but we're gonna have a little fireside chat with Gary and whoever else shows up. Nothing real set or planned. This is kind of our Saturday night thing we do. Kind of seems like a norm now, almost.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Gary, how's your week been over there at Nerdrotic? You guys have been busy, busy, busy.
Yes, we've been. Yeah, it's just Netflix show after Amazon show, and we're not even covering our regular stuff now. But the Amazon and Netflix just dropping shows and movies left and right, and they don't promote this stuff. Like we just did House of or Haunting of Hill House. I had no idea it was a series. I thought it was just like a movie or something like that. And it's great, by the way. It's really good. And it's good, like family creepy, like kind of poltergeist, PG-13 creepy. Yeah, very busy.
What is it called? I thought it was House on Haunted Hill, like an update of the movie. It's not.
It
What's
is. It's
something different?
it's the Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House.
That sounds like one of those fake movies you used to find at the video store that would try and
Right?
trick you.
Well, it's
Like,
based on it's a remake. Cool, kind of. The movie that came out in the 70s. And I think it's based on a book that came out in 1959. It was written by a woman, and yeah, it's nothing like the original movie though. It's more of a. I think it's a lot. It feels more like a Amityville Horror, the series, than anything else. But
all
centers
right.
around a family. It's good though. It's so far.
Like
I've
that
only
tone.
gotten him. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was actually an update of the House on Haunted Hill. I didn't really pay attention to the title, and I'm sure some other people that make the show are probably hoping you don't either, but because I'm sure that one's a little bit more well known. But no, I wasn't aware of that one, and it's always nice to find some good shows, especially when it comes to scary shows, because there's a glut of them lately, and it's like it doesn't seem like there's that many that really people talk about outside of The Walking Dead, and I mean, people used to talk about Bates Motel, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's so little horror out there that's really good. I mean, I was in the Ash versus Evil Dead
story, Ash versus Evil Dead, yeah.
First two seasons were great. Third season, not so much. But well, because they lost one of their showrunners, and it kind of went downhill after that.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yep.
I haven't seen the third season yet. I have it on Blu-ray. I just haven't got around to it, so it's not like I don't want to or anything like that. But we did have something to kind of chit chat about now that we have a few people who are able to get in here, and we got a little bit of a crowd. There's a rumor going around that there's going to be a lot more improvision in Star Wars Episode 9. Dakota Stanton, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He says, "Hey guys, hello Dakota." Yeah, I guess there's a rumor going around that there's going to be a lot more improvising on the set in Episode 9, and I tweeted on on the guy who posted it. I was like, wasn't that the problem with Solo?
Yeah, that's exactly why they fired the directors, because that was their style, and they couldn't have that. And Lawrence Kasdan was being an ass about it, and I would have loved to have seen their version. By the way, Lord Miller's version. I love those guys. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird, but that might be proof that Kathleen Kennedy truly isn't in charge anymore, and maybe J.J. Abrams is kind of by defunct, till
that is true.
That's yeah.
That is very true.
So we're gonna get more like phone jokes or whatever, like we did in that guy. Like, I can't hear you. I'm surprised he goes, I can't hear you. I beg your pardon.
No kidding, right? No, I mean this of course is a rumor, so we have to express that. But even if it is true, it's like, yeah, wasn't that bad enough in The Last Jedi with all that cringeworthy shit that was there? It was like, oh, that was some bad attempts at some humor. And Solo felt so flat. It was like if there was any humor in Solo, they really pulled it all out and left some of the worst. I mean, I tried watching Solo again the other night. And I said this on the podcast the other day. I said, because I got up to the point where the robot come in and I couldn't do it anymore. But there was just so many cringeworthy moments in that movie. I'm sorry for anybody who enjoys it. That's fine. But I can't remember. How did you feel about it, Gary?
Oh, Solo was boring. It was awful. His girlfriend had to save him and show him what to do, and they explained way too much. And it's hard to believe that Ron Howard started out like his first film was a comedy, and a good one at that, Night Shift. And
Yeah, that's true.
that he is just completely lost it with that. I mean, he was a hired gun, so I don't want to.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't really blame. I don't think anybody really blamed Howard for this mess. I mean, he was basically a gun for hire, come in and shot the thing in what, 2 months, not even 3 months, whatever it was. And I mean,
he made a cohesive story, kind of.
Oh yeah,
right, considering what he had. So, but yeah, it was just bad. The worst
could have been worse.
No, totally. But that's what it's. I think pretty much every reviewer, including yourself, said that. Like, this is. It was okay, but you're not supposed to be getting okay and meh from the Star Wars brand. From the Star Wars brand, it's at least they're trying for excellence. You're not always going to get it, but they definitely shoot for it. That didn't even look like the effects were good. I was actually okay with it. I mean, just okay with it until Enfys Nest pulled her mask off, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" Kidding me. And the thing is, we both, me and my friend, predicted it. We're like, it's going to be a teenage girl, and the fact that we were right, we're like, God damn it!
Right. That's kind of how we felt watching Star Trek Discovery all last year. It was like everything we called. Oh, it sounded like you spilled or hit something.
I hit my mic. Sorry.
That's all good.
So have you finished Star Trek Discovery?
I still have the last two episodes to watch. I just put it off.
You gotta watch the last episode, man. It'll make.
I already know what happens, so it's kind of like, and I've seen clips of it, so it's like, okay, I've seen the most important part already. But no, just to kind of real quick go back to Solo, I think Doomcock was right. He said it made the biggest mistake that any movie could make, and that is that it was boring.
Yeah.
Especially for a Star Wars movie. I mean, even Last Jedi, he said, as bad as it is, it wasn't boring. You want to tear your hair out if you have any throughout the entire movie. But I mean, Solo to me, it was like every time they would kick in one of those moments, and you know what I mean by the moments where, oh, you don't have any people? Well, we're just going to call you Han Solo. Yep. Oh, Chewbacca, that's too long. I'm going to have to give you a nickname. I hate those kind of moments in prequels and spin-offs, and because they seem so forced, so generic. Just like when Han's, you're going to mean to tell me that was what really was the life debt right there? That was it? Him pulling him back like that?
Oh God, I'm sure everybody out there had like this cool story in your head. I mean, it's people who I haven't read the EU at all, so like other than comics, so I don't know if they've told it before, told the story, but I had a great story in my head of what that life debt was. Like, he's like, his family got killed and they were like slaves to the Empire at some point, and he helped them escape or something like that. And I don't know,
kind of did.
He kind of did, but he also ate a few people beforehand, took a shower, and like that I never ever need to see again.
Honestly, that's the only part I laughed in the entire movie. When Chewie got in the shower with him. That's it. That's the only time I laughed.
Yeah. And all Nerdrodic was so bad. And the poor kid. I felt bad.
We've been pretty mean to him. That's true.
What I gotta say, what's up to one of the Dakota Stanton.
Oh yeah, he gave us a super chat already.
Yeah, good friend.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Awesome. A man of action's in there. What's up? And
we got some great people in the chat already.
Dead School and Tylon. Am I saying that right? Tylon? Tylon? Ranger.
Yeah, we kind of got right into our conversation. Sorry, guys. We usually do call out you guys in the chat.
No, it's okay.
So thanks for that, Gary.
Yeah, no
but no, yeah, I couldn't get into it again. I'm like, I can't do this. It's too bland. It's too boring. It's hard to see. And I got 3D at home, and I even crank up all the, crank it up to where it's supposed to be, to where I can see it better when I put the glasses on. And even this one was too dark when I have all my shit cranked up all the way. It's like, like watching Batman v Superman all over again.
So it is dark. Okay.
It's just as bad on Blu-ray. It's just as bad. I mean, I don't know if the main Blu-ray they lightened it up at all, but the 3D one is real murky and hard to see. Yeah, I imported it because you can't get the 3D one here, and I of course went and invested in 3D instead of 4K. So of course that was before 4K was even a thing, but
Yep.
it's like I'm not moving over until I have a viable option in 4K to make up for the hundreds of 3D Blu-rays I have.
I know that. Don't bother, because like we're gonna get every time they change format, we get less and less movies, and then 4K is probably going to be the last one we're going to get physical media on. Maybe second to last, but I think last, because once people start going to streaming services, they're not going to make that shit available anymore.
Right.
It's counterproductive.
Well, and it's like I was saying on the last show, I think it was, I just got word through my industry people that one of the biggest reproduction plants got shut down in the US for what reason we don't know yet. The only thing we can assume is it has to be with probably the tariffs on importing, their materials and stuff, because now the other plants are all backed up and prices might go up because a lot of these smaller boutique companies can't get their titles in. Like, for instance, Shout has had issues getting some of their titles out on time.
That's interesting.
So it sounds like, but yeah, they're all going to Mexico and Canada. So it's kind of like, yeah, especially right before the Christmas season, which is very alarming. So don't expect as many probably Black Friday deals on Blu-rays this year, I'd imagine, or we'll definitely see the difference next year.
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to save money, do it. I mean, Tom's probably done this too, is get yourself a region-free Blu-ray player for like $100,
yes, sir.
And then go on Amazon and get all the, region 2 Blu-rays that are like $30 instead of like I was looking for Doctor Who on Blu-ray because I had it and then I don't have it anymore. And yeah, it's all on Amazon, but you can't get seasons 2 through 4 on Blu-ray anymore here. I think there's season 2 is available for $75 and everything else is in region 2 or whatever.
Because it's either out of print or never was.
Yeah, they had it in print for like a second and then they pulled it out. So
that happens. Yeah. Well, I love my region free player, and not only that, they treat Blu-rays better over there.
Yep.
You get all kinds of special features. Usually, you don't always get here. Sometimes I've got a version of Spinal Tap that's got a whole concert on it that's not on the US Blu-ray.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Just little things like that. The Ninja Turtles movie has a commentary. The Blu-rays over here have nothing on them, and the DVD and the has a commentary and deleted the alternate ending where they're outside of the window at the comic book. It's in the comic book adaptation, but it's not in the movie. April takes her drawings to this comic book company to sell the idea of the Ninja Turtles. And the president says, it's just too far-fetched. And then, of course, the turtles stick their head in outside the window. So,
see, yeah. And Dead Schooled says, suck it, region 2. We're the better region.
Now, as far as the actual transfers, there's a lot of times I will say, and it's not their fault. It's just generally stateside that can get a hold of better materials to use for transfers, and Canon has a history of horrible transfers.
Yeah,
they notoriously fucked up the T2 transfer over here, which is quietly getting re-released, I think, later this year, but I'm not supposed to know that. So anyway, because hey Mary, thanks for joining us.
What's up, Mary? All the metadata that's being transferred when it gets compressed and put into the Blu-rays and stuff in region 2 is all done in Bangalore, India. And the American stuff
sometimes it's from previous prints.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it depends what the original you're right, from the original transfer.
Because then you have the very rare instance, like the region 2 version of the remake of Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini's remake. The Blu-ray over there actually is properly color timed as opposed to the Twilight series version that got released here. I guess it's got a really bad tint in it. And it's even darkens the picture through most of the movie. So a lot of people go after the region 2 one because it looks right.
That must have been
cheaper too. It's a lot cheaper.
That was probably QC'd in the middle of the night.
I don't know. I guess it was something to do with somebody, and this is a story I heard from my people, was the house, the people at Twilight or whatever, wherever they did the print for the Blu-ray, called the cinematographer. And over the phone, the cinematographer said, "Oh yeah, I always meant to have it much darker and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other." So they went by what he said over the phone.
That's always good.
Instead of having trying to send the guy some screenshots or anything like that to where, "Oh no, that's way too dark," or something like that. No, it's, yeah. But I guess it gives everything like a dark blue tint because of it or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, we're just shooting the shit here, guys. So there's no real straight thing we're going to talk about. We'll probably bring up Gary Wendig and stuff like that too. What you were going to say, Gary? Sorry.
It's Chuck Wendig.
Or Chuck Wendig. I'm talking to Gary.
We have the same. Well, he's got to shave that fucking beard. He's making us all look bad. A bearded guy, but yeah.
No, I just flip flop because I'm saying was trying to say we're talking to Gary, but we're going to bring up some Chuck Wendig here in a little bit because I thought I see him come up in the chat there earlier.
Oh, I'm sure. Man, people have gotten a lot of mileage out of that guy in the last couple of days, but he gave him a lot to work with. I didn't even know, like, when he got fired. I mean, I saw some of his Twitter rant, but dude, it's like 10 or 12 tweets. Usually, when you get fired, it's kind of that's something I want to tell the world. Actually, it's kind of embarrassing to get fired. I don't know, little pride, maybe. I don't understand that, but that seems to be kind of his thing. So yeah, and I also found out today through somebody else's video that he was like totally cheering Roseanne getting fired. So when you hear somebody else cheering somebody else getting fired, I have a lot less sympathy for him. I don't know.
Which is kind of funny because that South Park used that this week.
They did?
Yes.
I watch that still.
Mr. Hanky. And so they use this whole metaphor, of course, because Stan, of course, backs Mr. Hanky. And then they use the whole metaphor for everybody's pissed at Stan because he's backing a piece of shit. And all Mr. Hanky does is keep taking Ambient at night, and he keeps tweeting out bad shit in the middle of the night about people.
Oh, I gotta watch that. God,
it was a good one. It was actually a pretty good one. But anyway, so yeah, it's kind of ironic though that happened to be what they used this week for their show, and then this all happens. And I don't have any investment in the guy. Never even knew who the fuck he was before this, full disclosure. And I said this the other night too, because I have zero investment in any of the EU stuff, or because Rob and I hate doing homework. Like if we have to go and read a comic book or a book to understand what's going on in the movie, then that means the director or writer didn't do their job in the first place.
Agreed.
And that's kind of where we ran into this whole Last Jedi thing too, with the extended novel. It's like,
yeah, if you got to do prequels, I mean, that's when Dennis and I kind of thought something was up with Blade Runner 2049, which a lot of people love, and that's awesome. I don't, but that when they had to do the prequels beforehand, which sometimes it's cool, like Matrix did them that were cool, the Animatrix and stuff. Well, but yeah, when you have to when a director's constantly explaining stuff afterwards, like with Last Jedi, what Rian Johnson's still explaining stuff from that movie.
No shit.
You totally failed. Yeah, you got.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't want to buy anything extra with my movie. I want to get everything in there, and if you want to sell me something extra, it happened. It's part of the film, or it's like not important to the story. It's just some side thing, but it shouldn't be answering any important plot details at all.
That's true.
Or you failed as a storyteller.
Exactly. And it's funny you brought up the Matrix. I love the Animatrix too, but I think that I wonder if the only reason people think that's as great as it is because it was better than Reloaded or
God, yes.
It's like I'd rather have seen that movie instead of this. I mean, because that's the best part of the Animatrix is where it tells how the machines took over and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love the Animatrix. Love it.
But yeah, that's one of the few times a prequel works. Well, yeah, no kidding, right? It's like. They should have just left it alone. I guess that's one of those what went better is one and done and just left it, even though they totally set it up for sequels. And it was an original idea that it wasn't a Star Wars, it wasn't a Star Trek. You could have went anywhere with it, and that's where they chose to go with it. And it was just like, wow. It was like trying to like totally self-destruct this thing on purpose. By the time you get to the third film, it's just because the second film is just like overload of everything we got in the first movie.
Yeah, and then the third film, like they're barely in the Matrix, and it's like what in the Jesus Daredevil Neo, and then they couldn't shoot with him because he was injured, so they shot around him. Basically took him out of the story. If there was special features on the Blu-ray for the complete set,
Yes.
and they have some commentary with some shrinks and some critics, and the critics are actually critical of the movie during the commentary, which is interesting. And they allowed that to happen because they did kind of a post-mortem, and they talked about basically when the first movie came out, we didn't have that big of a budget. We were all together. We were in a freaking studio. When the second, third one came out, everybody had their own trailer, catering. And then one of the directors was going through a little bit of transitioning
Yeah.
at the time. And yeah, it just turned into a giant shit show, and nobody was focused on the movie. And it had such a great start. Oh God. Yeah. It could have been Gen X Star Wars, but it wasn't.
It's funny you call it a shit show. Those movies were such shit shows behind the scenes that Midnight's Edge did a video about them, and it didn't even exist back then. That's how much of a shit show they were.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that would be an interesting, like we've talked about it, but it's just finding the time. But we've loved the idea of going back and revisiting troubled productions like we do now with the current ones we do on Midnight's Edge. And I'm sure you guys would love that.
That'd be great.
Because we love the idea of it, but it's just putting together one of them now as it is and then doing other ones. But maybe if we get bigger, you never know. Because we've talked about, of course, Jaws, Star Wars, the basic ones, but there's just so many troubled productions that people, have never really heard about besides those too. So The Matrix is probably one of those that, other than on the Blu-rays themselves, and I'm sure there's a couple of videos out there that would be a good candidate. I'm sure you guys could think of a ton of good ones too. But isn't it funny though how you listen to the stories? And I love that. It's like, to me, the best part of a lot of classic Blu-rays and DVDs is getting into the special features. And when it's long enough in the past that they don't give a shit and the NDAs and everything are over and they can actually start talking about it.
Yeah.
Like what really happened, what really went. And that's why I love these documentaries lately that the fans are making, where they're not produced in conjunction with the companies themselves that made the movie, so that they can get real candid on these things. Like they did a great 1428 Elm Street is this company that did one, not associated with Susan's website, but they did a Friday the 13th and a Nightmare on Elm Street one that are just amazing, where they can get into all the stuff and there's no real, they're not worried about pissing off New Line Cinema or anything like that, because New Line Cinema ain't making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I love those where they just get into the nitty gritty and tell you what really went down and behind the scenes. And because to me, them are the best candid ones you can get into and learn about what went right and went wrong. And the point I was getting to is it's funny because you see movies like Jaws and Star Wars that went through hell to get made. And then you look at something like Teen Wolf 2 that was a simple project that didn't have no problems behind the scenes, but it was a shit movie when it came out.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that usually works? It's like, oh, we had a great time shooting it. Too bad the movie wasn't that good.
Yeah. They're probably having too much fun. Yeah.
I think that's kind of what happened with The Matrix outside of Keanu Reeves getting hurt. Because I think that's what you were saying. That was what I was getting to too. Is you said, everybody had their own trailer and, kind of crap. So it was like everybody was too into themselves and everybody was having too much of a good time to really worry about what was going to end up on the screen, as opposed to the heart wasn't there, the soul wasn't there, the passion wasn't there like it was the first time around. Sorry, I went on some long.
No, it's The Matrix. This should have been left alone. One movie, leave the rest to your imagination. It would have been an American classic to this day. It would be. It's still beloved. I mean, everybody loves the first one, but imagine.
Or better yet, wait till now to do the sequel when years to reflect on it. And they'd actually probably have the Wachowskis would have the passion now to probably do it again, as opposed to then. Because I can understand, all Warner Brothers did was throw a bunch of fucking money at them and said, "Here you go, make some movies."
And they had done one more before that. They did Bound, which is a really good movie. Bound is a great movie. And they just kind of lost it after that.
I think they lost their way when they got a whole it's one of those things where you can get too big too fast. It's the Orson Welles syndrome, where you get too big too fast to where there's no way you can live up to your opus that you opened up with, even though Bound they did before the Matrix, and Orson Welles, of course, had other projects before Citizen Kane. But same thing though. After that, they just never were the same. Just like Orson Welles, he just never was the same after Citizen Kane because he knew he could never live up to that again.
Oh, they hit the stratosphere as far as popularity. And I love what Magpie says, but The Matrix doesn't have any sequels. That's a good way to look at it. It's a good way to look at it. No, what are you supposed to do? You can't blame them, especially when Orson Welles and the Wachowskis. Listen, say what
is that
you
how
want
you say
about,
it? I'm
like,
sorry,
the Wachowskis. I call them,
Wachowskis.
they're not. Well, they're actually the Wachowski sisters now. They were the
Yeah.
Wachowski brothers. They both went through transitioning, but the studio could not have been happy that in the middle of their multi-million-dollar production, somebody was going through transition, wasn't really totally focused on. That's fine. It's a personal decision, but maybe wait before delay your movie. I don't know. And then there was a bunch. There might be a book on that someday because there was a bunch of stuff going on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
On this. Oh, dude, one of the best books out there.
What's sad about that is now they would actually use that as a selling point for the movie.
They would. I don't know if you guys can still get it out there, but the art of the Matrix.
By the way, one of our directors is going through a sex change.
Oh, dude,
transition. That's what they call it now.
That's a movie within a movie, right there. Right? You're right. Yeah, totally. No, I was just going up. There's the art of the Matrix, and it's got all the storyboards and everything from the first movie. It's a super thick book. It's brilliant. It's one of the best making of books ever of a movie. It's like film 101. Plus, you get just like all the art that they based. They got a couple comic artists, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah, sure it's funny that it just reminds me. It's like there's like that cutoff there. Like probably somewhere not too long after the Matrix where I just really didn't give a shit too much about the behind the scenes nonsense anymore. And a lot of it's just because all the behind the scenes stuff is just a bunch of people standing in front of green screens all the time.
Yep.
It's like, this is not exciting.
No. No, there's no hookers and trailers.
That's
and
right.
And now there's green screens.
I didn't sleep with a hooker today.
I know.
Ben Affleck. That hooker in Affleck's trailer again?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 10-12.
That's a 10-12. Yeah, somebody's got to go hide a dead hooker in bed.
I'm in bed with a hooker. I love that movie. I'm so glad he's bringing him back. I am so happy about that. I think they just started filming. I thought I read somewhere. If somebody out there in the chat knows or not, I can't wait for that. Oh, I seen though. I know. I don't know. I think was it you we were talking about Tenacious D with? Are you a fan of the D?
I am a fan of the D.
I seen what their cartoon's gonna look like.
Really?
It's Jack Black drawings. It's not even animated.
Oh god, no. Oh shit.
I don't know what to feel about it. I'm like, okay, but it's just like an excuse, I guess, for a new album more than anything than it is like a movie. But I'm sure there's portions of it that are it, but that's what it is, I guess. The whole thing is just still Jack Black drawings through the whole thing.
Oh god, that's funny as hell.
It is. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, I guess, in a weird, fucked up way.
Yeah.
I love Tenacious D though, so anything from them, I'll give it a shot.
Yep. Yeah, I've been a fan for a long, long time.
How is nobody giving these guys an animated show or something like that though? That's what I don't get. They should have a show on Cartoon Network or HBO. Well, they did have an HBO shorts show. It was like 7-8 minute clips or whatever they were for a while,
and it was great.
Yeah,
all the material from their next album pretty much came from that.
Yes.
But no, I don't know. They give shows to on Cartoon Network to Mike Tyson Mysteries, and I mean, like, why not?
I guess. I mean
that's good.
Why are not we in charge? Because this is what we were just saying the other night. The number one show in television right now would be if you had a straightforward Batman television show, like the animated series, just live action. Just do it. What the hell? Come on. Why is it so hard, DC? And because you guys are just starting to cover DC shows over there with Titans. I watched that the other day, your review of Titans. Tell everybody what you felt about that, because that show just
okay. I'm trying to be nice to it at first, all right, because I want to give it a legit chance, but Akiva is writing it. He's the showrunner, so it's kind of impossible for me to like. The only thing I liked seeing was Robin in costume fighting. It was great to see like a real Robin for the first time, but everything else is just so dead wrong.
That was like the only thing I didn't mind.
Yeah, everything else is just completely wrong. It's the Teen Titans are a fun, like, super team. You know, they're bright colors and fun. It's got that fucking DCEU color palette. Starfire.
What color?
Exactly. Oh my God, there's so much death and blood. So there's times it wants to be Netflix Daredevil, and there's times it wants to be kind of a CW show. I mean, I don't like the CW, so it's definitely better than the CW, but that's not saying much.
But it's the same people behind it, is it not?
It's Greg Berlanti and Akiva Goldsman, like the worst combination ever. I felt bad for DC fans because there's going to be ones who just, DC fans are loyal. Okay, they're loyal fans, and they're gonna think they like it, but like in a year's time, you're gonna go, what the fuck did they? I mean, this is what they start the DC streaming service with. I would have held back and waited for James Wan and Mark Verheiden's Swamp Thing, because those guys are legit, creators who can make something really fucking good. But Akiva Goldsman, how could they let the guy who wrote Batman and Robin anywhere near a DC property again? And this is DC. This is the actual company that produces the comics. I don't fucking understand it at all. So I'm sorry, folks, but yeah. I mean, I gave it like a 5 out of 10, but Starfire is bad. I mean, the costume gets explained a little bit within the plot. It doesn't mean she should be wearing it all the time. But
yeah, I tried asking you about that, but I think you missed the questions, or I missed your answer. Yeah, I was questioning is why is she dressed like that all the time, and is she dressed like that all the time? And
oh, sorry, I missed those. Okay, so she is dressed like that all the time in the first episode, and it looks like throughout most of the first series. She will get a proper costume at the end of the series. She's dressed like that, and they insinuate she's a call girl or a club girl, one of the two. But yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So I mean, all that. Yeah.
and we're the racist assholes.
Mm-hmm.
You're perpetuating stereotypes, but we're the racist assholes. And
yeah, they go, how dare you? We actually wrote her as a hooker in the story.
Yeah.
They didn't come out and say it, but she's with a bunch of rich European people. She's in a fur coat. She's the passenger in a car with a dead passenger. They said you double crossed us. So, I mean, maybe she's a club goer and they do dress like that and whatever.
Even still, it's still stereotypical.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
But we're the ones who are being, and
it's not Starfire. Starfire, I mean, the animated series, the original one, kind of gets it right. She's naive to Earth's ways. She's a banished princess from another world. She's orange, and it's this one just talks like she has an American accent, and very nonchalant. And they were more, into like the sexual innuendo of her sleeping with one of the girls at the hotel, and and then and a lot of people die, and of course the overall plot is supposed to, sorry for spoilers, but this is out there, like supposedly Batman kills somebody and that's what leads to Robin leaving. It can't be that, because Robin practically kills a bunch of people in the first episode.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a couple of those guys are dead, so it couldn't be that.
Or they're gonna wish they were, probably, from the sound of it.
Well, I'm gonna wish I was by the end of the series.
Oh, balls! That just sounds bad. And it's like you would think that after that first backlash, that had been like, all right, we got to change something here. We can't fuck her, or something like that. You would think somebody would have came to their damn senses.
Yeah, like reshoots. Who let that pass? I mean, I said that then. I'll say it now. That shows you kind of how stupid they are over there, and they being Hollywood. And DC has no fucking excuse. This is how you start your streaming service.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, and I'm not going to get it until it either comes on PS4 or Amazon, isn't it? And on the Amazon Prime app, because I hate inconvenience, and I think that's the only thing that's going to be the saving grace of this. Of the streaming wars, is Amazon is going to be able to bring everybody together on their app. but then they're just going to be able to funnel off money from everybody. But anyway,
no, Amazon is way ahead. I mean, Netflix is ahead, but Amazon's got the all-in-one. Disney and DC, they're so far behind them. It's going to be hard to catch them. When most of these streaming services fail, and they're going to have to go crawl into Amazon and Netflix and renegotiate.
Well, I guess CBS All Access had one of their biggest boosts from jumping on the Amazon Prime deal, the app, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how you want to call it, but yeah.
So, so you sign up for it. Oh, it's like what HBO does that, and I think Cinemax. So
I got my HBO through there because I hate their HBO Now app or whatever it is.
It's horrible.
I'd rather just go through Amazon because then I don't have any of the issues with the sound. I can get my 5, all that kind of stuff. It's there. I can watch live. Not just one channel, but they have like East, West, and a couple of the other HBOs if I want to. So if they're doing like some of their live shows and stuff like that, I can catch those live. As opposed to the HBO Now app, it was just a pain in the ass to use. The only reason I got it in the first place was just for Westworld and a few other things. And I still haven't watched season 2, mainly because of what you told me. I'm just like, oh God, no. And that was another one. I'm like, JJ, what did you do? But not to jump onto another subject, but yeah, it's just this whole Titans thing. I was like, I'm not a big Titans fan to begin with. And I said that the other day on your in the chat on your stream. And so I wasn't like really invested in worrying about it too much, but I just, from hearing what you explained, it was just like, how did they knew they were having issues because they were giving us shit about saying she looks like a hooker. And we were even using the old Dave Chappelle joke. It's like, she may look and act like dressed like a hooker, but that doesn't necessarily mean she is a hooker. But if I walk outside the cop's uniform and somebody comes up to me and says, hey, officer, come help quick. And it's like, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I'm a cop. You can still understand how they get fucking confused. Well, that's how this is. There is no fucking confusion here. She is obviously a call girl, and they're not thinking with, this is DC Warner Brothers, though. Like, why am I even trying to be logical about this?
I know. This is, we've been nerding out on this for 30 years for us older guys. Warner Brothers has never known what to do with their characters, and it sucks because they have one of the most loyal fan bases out there, one of the best fan bases out there in DC fans. I love DC fans, and they screw them over all the time, and they stay loyal, but that's kind of, it's hard to hear. Sometimes we got to root against the things we love. If you're into the sports ball, when your team is sucking, it's not good to support them, and or you're a fair weather fan. No, you're giving them money to suck. Don't do that, or they won't change. And that's the same goes for the shit you love.
And that's what I used to say all the time when people would defend like Batman v Superman and Justice League. It's like, just because, it's a turd and it has a Batman symbol on it, it's still a turd underneath. It doesn't matter, and that's basically what you guys are buying. And it's the same thing that Star Wars and Star Trek have become now too. It's this thing where they don't care about the fans. They don't give a shit about us. And we say this all the time, but it's true. They don't. All they care about is whatever we buy. And they know, or at least they think that, and they know it because of blind fans, that no matter what they slap the name on, you'll buy it. And you can't do that. And that's where we have to stand up and say, no more. No more of this bullshit. The next guy, though. I just bought Solo.
Yeah, you bought Solo. Damn it. No,
I did it overseas, but
you're a movie guy. I understand that. Like you got to do stuff for your channel. I got a super chat from John Bellman, and he wants me to get Star Trek Discovery Season 1 on Blu-ray and destroy it on the camera. I think he did the same for Doomcock, and I have to do that. So. I am going to do that. I will be very slow.
He might have done it for us too. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. He might have. I'll have to go look. I just probably banished it from my memory.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna straight up do German rendition on it, and just straight up torture that. Yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Santa Dominos asks, "Is Starfire not an alien?" Gary, do they not really?
She is an alien, but the only time she gets orange is when she powers up. She powers up once, and it looks like it's going to be a situation to where she'll kind of like the Human Torch in the Corman Fantastic Four. She'll power up a couple times. but she's mostly just going to look like a human. And doesn't talk like an alien. She talks like an American, you know. And it's super disappointing because she's one of the characters with the most personality. Her naivete is like the most charming thing about her, and she's still. The reason they probably did that because it doesn't make her look like a strong woman. Bullshit. She's a princess that was banished by, she was heir to the throne. Her sister fucked her over, and she's naive to Earth's ways, but she's also really powerful. And her and Dick have a relationship in the first part that's really interesting. And there's so many great stories. The better TV shows that we get is because they have better shows to follow. So why Daredevil is better than Iron Fist and Luke Cage and all that, because Daredevil has better stories to pine off of. Teen Titans is the same. It's got a ton of great stories to pine off of. That you could have 15 seasons of Titans if you just go off of what's in the comic books. Just what Jeff Johns has written. And now I don't even know where the fuck they're going with this. But Starfire with Eastern European mafia and Hot Topic Raven, and that's another great character. That the goth thing, it kind of goes with the character, but she just doesn't look like Raven. I don't know. The guy looks like Robin. He's all right. He's fine. And the Beast Boy, that one scene with Beast Boy was the closest thing to the character in the comics.
I did see a little, it was a little featurette thing about Beast Boy where he's not done turning into Beast Boy, I guess. So I'm assuming a lot of these characters will probably have different looks as they get along in the show. But just starting her off like this, and at least not just going off and saying, look, it's going to change, guys. They never. And not only that, every single promotional piece of material we got, she had the same hair, the same outfit, everything.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, oh no, the picture was out of context. Even the actress herself said that, which is sad because she's a very attractive actress, and they went and made her look like what she is, evidently. And not only is that bad, that's just like perpetuating a stereotype to where it's like a bad stereotype of the 70s style. The sexploitation / blaxploitation movies of the 70s style hooker kind of thing. It's just, oh my good God.
No self-awareness at all. and yeah, like you said, keep the same actress. That's fine. That's totally fine. Just make her look like Starfire. That's all. That's all we ask. Yeah, it's a little bit of makeup, but Yvonne Craig pulled off being green in an entire Star Trek episode. So I mean, I don't think it's hard. Zahn in Farscape was blue. I mean, yeah, she had to quit the show because of
green for how many damn years?
For a year and a half. So yeah.
I mean, the Hulk was on for what, 4 or 5 seasons?
Yep. I mean, you're just painting the bod green or orange. They could do it.
I bet that man shat green for years after.
Oh, man, he must have, right? Look like avocado turds.
Because that was one thing I remember from Jennifer Lawrence when she said the first time she did, or not Jennifer Lawrence, the other one.
Rebecca Romaine.
Rebecca Romaine said the first time she did the X-Men, she shat blue for months afterwards, because they would do it. They literally just paint her from head to toe blue.
Yep.
The only pieces that were covering her were basically covering her naughty bits, as you want to put it, and that was it. It was like just a strap thing from her teats down through over underneath and up above her butt crack, and that was it.
Rebecca Romaine is my Mystique.
Yes,
all
man.
day long.
Yes.
Brian Singer gave her 3 fucking lines.
J-Law got it easy, though. She got mostly a body costume, so.
Yeah, now she doesn't have to wear it at all.
Yeah.
Mutant and Proud, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Starfire is still wearing that outfit when she meets Raven, doesn't change her dress after 3 or 4 days. Yeah. That's ew. That Harp guy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's perpetuating a stereotype. And she still looks that good, huh? In quotations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, balls.
On the hair's the hair, the wig is bad. Everything is bad. There's no money, and it's boring. The episode's kind of boring, and you saw every action scene. You guys saw them in the trailers. There's nothing new, zero. There's a bunch of walking around and sulking that you missed. So, I think for the amount of money, I still think the service is worth it. Not for Titans, for like the comics you get to read. You're going to be getting HD Blu-ray quality versions of Batman the Animated Series when they're all up. They have 2 seasons up right now. They have Superman the Animated Series that's going up. There's a bunch of stuff that's up there that's worth the if you're into it and you have the extra scratch. I mean,
right. Well, it's not like overly priced, but that's just it. This is to get us on, not like to totally get us on a different topic, but it kind of is the same topic, to go with the streaming wars and those bastards over, was it the New York Times or New York, whatever it was, that stole our,
we know it's yours,
saying
Tom.
Should have TM'd it. Oh, that just irks me. No, I'm just kidding. The streaming wars coming up. I mean, $6.99 doesn't seem like a lot, but once you start stacking all these up on top of each other, and I noticed the same thing already with my Amazon, since it made it so convenient and easy for me to add on these channels, all of a sudden I'm giving Amazon in a month what I would pay for cable.
Yeah,
already. And we haven't even got into the rest of it, because Warner Brothers, we knew. That's why it was like such non-news to a point, because it was like, duh. Who didn't know that was the whole point of AT&T and them getting together? We knew they were going to start a streaming service, because if there's anybody who's got enough shit to compete with Disney, it's Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah. And then there's piracy, and they're never ever going to stop that. And the more stuff that's on digital, the easier it is to pirate. So eventually this is going to get to a la carte some days, to where you could just,
it already is.
I mean, but they need to make it a little cheaper. Like sometimes,
but that's the problem. They're not going now to be able to get a hold of everything you want to see is going to be a pain in the ass.
And more people will come to YouTube, like they are, and watch people like us. I think there's a ton of that going on right now, and nobody mentions that in the streaming wars. Nobody brings up YouTube at all. I think YouTube actually realized. Well, you did, but I mean, nobody else does. Like I don't hear that. I don't read it in articles. Right. Outside of our circles, I don't hear it. And YouTube has kind of finally understood that. They were trying like hell to be a Netflix and an Amazon for the longest time. And I can't say my source, but word on the street is they finally have realized that they finally realized what they got. So there's some movement on like making the streamers and the content creators a little bit more happy down the road. I don't know how far down the road, but it's being worked on now. Twitch has a lot to do with that. That has forced them to do a lot of stuff but there might be a change in the monetization thing. I'd say that's about a year away, but they might be dialing that back a little bit. It's a little harsh right now, but that's because they overreacted to the adpocalypse, and they're kind of rethinking things. That's what I've heard.
I'm just listening.
Oh yeah. Well, I paid a visit there a couple days ago.
That's cool.
I got a friend there, so
yeah, you were telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's all I really.
How was the reaction though to like Cobra Kai though? That was a big enough hit for him though. Is they call it what, YouTube Premium now, not RedTube or YouTube?
Yeah, the problem is like that was the only hit on that thing. Like they have a bunch of stuff on that, and nobody's watching it. Like nobody. And they invested a bunch of money in getting some like bigger YouTubers to make their own stuff, and that's all like tanked.
Yeah, I noticed that when I had it for Cobra Kai. I was like, "There's nothing on here."
No,
the only that I'm interested in anyway.
Origin looks okay, and that's coming out on the 14th. And of course, I'm going to try to support anything on YouTube for sure, because like, we get a piece. We get a very tiny, tiny, tiny piece, but we get a piece of it. So,
well, I have this love-hate relationship with YouTube. It's kind of like theaters. I have this same kind of thing with theaters now. Because I used to just fucking adore. You could never get me to get more excited than when I was a kid to say, we're going to the theater.
Yep.
And now it's like, oh, I got to go to the fucking theater.
I got to park.
God. And then I got to deal with the people and the money and the this and the that. And it's gotten to a point where it's just like such a chore. And I hate that. And then, like I said, we're jumping topics here, guys. But that's what this is. This is our
Fireside Chat. Chat. Can we cut the trailers down? I really don't need to see trailers anymore.
For fuck's sake, 35 minutes. I timed them. 35 minutes of trailers last time I went to the movies.
Yeah, it was 28 minutes on roughly for Venom. it was crazy. Hey, I just got your notification right now. Just popped up. So at least I got it for this video. I just got your notification.
Monetized. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a first. So everybody refresh real quick, and then you'll get a commercial.
Yeah. Watch that commercial.
No, I'm just guys. I don't like to do that. I don't like shilling. I don't like. That's why we could probably go out and get tons of like sponsors, but we're very picky about that. We don't want anybody to think that we have any kind of sway over us.
No, that's why. Yeah, that's why I feel weird about even interviewing somebody. Because like, what if I interview somebody and then I talk shit about their show, and then they refer back to our channel, and then they see me talking shit about their show, and I'd rather not. I'd rather be able.
I get that to a point, but we do the same thing. We just have to just do it.
Yeah,
you know I mean? And I kind of run the interviews, so I mean, for the most part, and frankly, it's just you do almost have to put on. I wouldn't call it a charade, but you have to look at it from a different angle. See, like when I approached Jason Goes to Hell, I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but I couldn't take away from Adam Marcus, the director, when I interviewed him, that he tried something different, that he was under stipulations and, certain things were tying his hands due to rights and everything else. Cause he wanted like Tommy Jarvis to come back and all this other stuff, but he couldn't because they didn't get the rights to Tommy Jarvis. They just got the rights to Jason, and that's it, and the family name and stuff. So it was like, I could understand to a point, and I've even talked to people who have stuck up for people that we have picked on, basically, on Midnight's Edge. I'm not going to name any names, but you'll get that, and we love to hear other angles. We've had people get upset with people that we interview, but hey, I'll interview just about anybody.
Yeah,
I'm not above that. I mean, we want to get to the true story. We put out people that have had more than enough opportunities to come talk to us. I'm not going to name names again, and they haven't yet. So it's like, it's not like the door isn't open for Midnight's Edge. We will definitely allow people to tell their side of the story for sure. And I can understand where you're coming from on that, but we've just come to a point where we got to separate that. We're just like any other news organization. You're going to get the good with the bad. Maybe that's the way you guys got to look at it. Because if you guys can get interviews, that would be badass for your channel. I know that. So, I mean,
it depends.
We're talking shop in front of people.
Yeah, that would have to be like way. The only person I would go out of my way, because right now I'm just kind of Jackson, Jackson Public and Doc Hammer for Venture Brothers. I would fucking love.
You could also probably get some people from The Expanse for sure.
Oh, yeah, like Cass Anvar. I would.
Well, that's where you start. Start with stuff that you're positive about. That way, you don't have that problem.
That's true.
And then we got lucky with like our Gary Tunnicliffe interview, because that all happened before. I mean, Andre and I both had seen the movie, but he had set it in motion before neither one of us had seen the movie. We expected it to be a clusterfuck, but what we saw was a diamond in the rough. We was like, God, if this guy had $1 million, let alone just a couple $1 million, this movie could have been something. And yeah, it's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that, but that's what Tarantino does.
Yep.
Sometimes there's nothing wrong with it. I have no problems with homages. I have no problems with people, picking things from something else and using it in a different way. It's when you're just going to do a straight ripoff or a straight remake or a straight reboot and not even try anything different. I could give a shit if somebody takes, something they saw in an episode of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and mixes it with something they saw in Star Trek and mixes it with Short Circuit. I'm not going to have an issue with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody, Patrick said, you guys should interview William Shatner. I'd fucking die for that. You should, Tom. Tom would be a good interview. I'm a horrible interviewer too. I'd be all, you're awesome in that show.
Oh, I never ask half the questions I wish I could too. I mean, we have to play nice to it to a point, Yeah. We can't sit there and corner somebody and be like, what the fuck were you thinking?
You guys actually like have structure and you write things. We just turn on the microphone and just kind of go.
Well, on After Dark, we don't. Unless I do something specific like a special video, but like a lot of those things that I've structured end up getting thrown on the main channel anymore anyway. Like my solo review is like one of my last ones I did, It's just YouTube has changed so much in the last year and two. It's just crazy compared to what we used to do.
Yeah. Well, there's something in the algorithm that can tell if something is negative or not. I don't know if they look for keywords or something like that, but
Oh, there's no real we could tell, but you at least know people you could probably discuss it with a little
well,
closer. That
if I just base it on my stuff, is like like the money is better when I am positive as opposed to negative, and I'm like it varies, but like when I'm completely shitting on something like Iron Fist season 2. And like the money's like it's not much either way, but it's a significant difference between the negative and the positive. And I'll show you someday. I'll just show you right down the line.
Oh, I believe you.
It's crazy.
And there is a people element to that too, because the company, I know this, the company that decides what can be monetized and can't be monetized, actually people who are a hired company. So everybody has feelings of their own. And if it's something, if you're talking about something they don't agree with, of course you're going to get demonetized. And we had that problem with a video that's still demonetized to this day, that they will not give us an answer for why. And I've tried, it got as to many people as I could to try and get an answer. And all they could tell us is we can't tell you why.
Can you say what video that is?
Oh, it was one from a while back. I don't remember the specific name of it, but it was just when I think it was when they were talking about. Well, we initially figured it was because it had Deadshot or whatever in the title, because it was when they were talking about it was right after Justice League, and they were still talking about. I think it was when we were talking about whether or not the original script existed with Deadshot in it for Batman, Affleck script. If I remember right, because it wasn't that enough ago before. I'm trying to remember. I'd have to go look.
Yeah, there's certain words they just don't want in there.
Oh yeah, and I tried to find out what was going on, and it's like because it's like nothing in there should be bad. But Rob and I did a bunch of tests, and again, we're talking shop in front of everybody. But Rob and I did a bunch of tests, and he went and just read nursery rhymes, and we placed random pictures over the nursery rhymes, and then then in the titles and the descriptions and all that stuff, we just put random different things to try and see what would trigger it. And then once it would get triggered, we'd change certain words or whatever until we would get it to change back to green. Because it'll do it automatically if you get rid of whatever it is that's triggering it. We figured that out. But everything from Trump to the word Kate to just random shit would set it off. It was strange. And we had one that because like you would have one that would be like everything would be like literally would say like Rob reading nursery rhymes, and that one would get flagged right away. But then we had one that was like Kate Upton does something or other, and that one got flagged. And then we took out the word Kate, and then it didn't anymore, even though that one was all full of pictures of Kate Upton.
That is weird.
Yeah, we did like 5 or 6 videos and just kept messing with them to try and mess with it to see what we could get out of it. And all we could conclude was there is no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever.
I guess not.
I mean, we wish we could have found some type of, pattern, but we couldn't. We could not pin down any patterns whatsoever.
Yeah, the only one I could figure out lately was like anytime we said anything negative about Star Trek Discovery, it hit us. Like, especially the word lawsuit right next to Star Trek. Yeah, they didn't like that.
For some reason, our one Star Trek video did really well. The other one did okay, but oddly enough, the one about Anas's lawsuit has done not so good.
Really?
And I noticed the same thing with one on our channel, and the one on Doomcock was saying that he was surprised his wasn't doing better and stuff like that. So you never know. We're not gonna, insinuate anything.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't want to do that.
What were you trying to say to me, Dead Schooled? You still watch movies? Yeah, you can still watch movies on YouTube, Dead Schooled, actually, but they've been cracking down on people uploading the bootleg version, basically.
Yeah.
Oh
God, there's Daily Motion, man. Daily Motion, you can catch up on a lot of TV on Daily Motion. I don't know how they get away with that, man, but they do.
Well, there's rays around everything.
Oh yeah, all of Farscape is on Daily Motion right now.
Do they actually license that stuff, or is it?
I maybe, but it's free, so I'm not complaining. And it looks pretty good. Like the quality is really good. So,
I mean, I guess I know of them, but I've never really paid attention. I guess. I don't know. Maybe they do.
yeah. See, what is it? Populi, Suprema. Populi Suprema. There you go. I know how to fucking read. Watch Farscape on daily. Yeah, I did too. I was watching it there the other day.
Yeah, because we've talked about getting on there too. We've talked about going other places, and I don't know if Andre wants to say this, but
yeah,
that's what Andre finally decided. He's like, no, we're not doing anything else.
No, I was going to do a Twitch channel. I'm like, I don't want to. My audience. I mean, I love you guys and what we have. I do not want to split it or send to somebody else somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem with doing a podcast in other places is there's no real way to, unless you have a sponsor, you can't really, track it, get any kind of monetization or notice it. But anyway,
yeah.
Hey, God,
what's up?
How's
it going?
There, we got 81 of you guys listening to us just shoot the shit.
Shooting the shit. That's all we're doing. Well, you guys got any questions? What's up? How's everybody doing? Having a good weekend? Life suck. Hail Doomcock, by the way. Gotta say Hail Doomcock. It's
yeah. And Mecca had her anniversary. I thought she was gonna be popping in. Maybe she's helping Doomcock. I know he was trying to figure out OBS. So maybe she's helping him right now.
I need to figure out OBS. I know,
me too.
I've had it on my computer for 2 years, and I've finally started playing with it. And I've got one of those little soundboard things, and I can do all kinds of. I got videos. I just do it. I got to figure out when I do started to talk to shop, but when I do the OBS and then when it turns into a video, it plants it out of order. I don't know if that's got something to do with when I started it or something like that. But yeah, I did my Titans one on OBS and it has it like I did it last Saturday.
Yeah, I've noticed weird stuff like that. There's quirks to it, definitely.
What's up with that?
I like the streamlining and doing it through Google, and it seems like we have less dropouts because it doesn't work the same way as
I like Hangouts. I've been using Hangouts for a long time. I love how it changes the camera and it goes right into a video, and yeah. And it seems to we do everything live, and there is a difference between just cutting a video and then doing a live stream. You get out there more. You get more longevity from a video. When you do a live stream, it seems like they just die out after a few days and they just get dropped in the pecking order. And I don't know why that happens, but because we have been live streaming for so long, we get decent views for 3-hour shows. We do pretty good.
Yeah,
people watch them. I don't know, and that's great. Love you guys. Our podcast.
Well, it's you guys to keep us going, and that's just it. We've had to adjust ourselves, and that's what happened over on After Dark. Was the little videos and stuff like that, they do okay, but even though the live shows don't probably get as many views as we used to, between the super chats and what we do get up front from you guys, that makes all the difference in the world. I mean, in between that and whatever else we can get, from whatever else is out there, it's getting more difficult. So I'm glad to hear that at least YouTube is working on changing things. It's going to be a long year, but
they want more people live streaming. They're going to start giving them more love, and that's good because that's more. And Swift asked me, I've been rewatching Venture Brothers from the beginning, and it's impossible to pick 5 favorite episodes. They're all fucking good. It's a great show. From there's no bad episodes. There might be there's not even a second of bad in Venture Brothers. If you guys haven't watched Venture Brothers, it's fucking genius. It's been around forever.
I'll get to it.
Too late.
Rob Brow beat me for a while until I finally watched Rick and Morty. I'll eventually get to it.
Yeah, if you like if you like The Tick, you'll like Venture Brothers. It's very much in the same vein as The Tick.
I like The Tick. I haven't seen the new one yet.
That's good.
I should. I got Amazon. I should watch it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but I've heard.
Do yourself a favor. It is really, really good.
And really, time is my. And then when I do find myself with a little bit of time, I end up going on YouTube and checking out you guys, stuff like that. That's how I found you guys. It's I don't have time. When I do, I throw up YouTube and I'm just checking with my normal, I have my little quirky stuff I go and watch, and then I'll just, I if I find something that piques my interest or whatever my video leads me into next, you never know. Well, and Doomcock was a lot. Doomcock actually helped me really kind of find out you guys were accessible. But yeah, because like I said before that, I thought you guys were like a much, much bigger channel than you were. So, which is a shame, which is a damn shame. Because if you guys haven't subscribed to Nerdrodic yet, get your butts over there and do that. You can do it in a separate window. You don't even have to leave us.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that.
I think I have the link right down in the chat too. So, or the description. And if we actually have any,
love you, man.
Do we even have any mods in here? I think we lost Mary. She might have fell asleep.
You might have. Mary.
She needs her rest though, so we don't want to bother her.
She might be over at Anti-Trekker.
Oh, if Anti-Trekker's on, that's where she went. Okay.
Yeah, she's getting spread. Right. She's getting spread kind of thin there.
Yes, we don't. We're all right. We can. Oh, we got no mods in here, so that means we can get in trouble, guys.
Yeah. Let's go crazy. Let's stay up past 11.
Yes. It is already past 11 here.
It's 10:02 here. Yeah, to Tick on Amazon is very, very good. Tick a Man Blade. It is fantastic. It has Danger Boat, one of my favorite characters, voiced by Alan Tudyk. And they're half an hour episodes, so they're really easy to digest.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I'll have to check it out. It's not like I've scrolled over it like a few times, but that's my thing is like I love to binge. So it's like if I know I don't have the time to get really into something, then I won't. Because like, I know I only got like an hour and a half. I'm like, shit.
It's like eating one chip. You can't do it. You got to watch. You got to go through the whole thing. That's why. That's why I'm glad I'm always like watching a show, or I've got you. I mean, like the soundtrack to my life now is either whatever show we're covering and Rob and Tom and Mecha and fucking Doomcock and Anti-Trekker, Odin. I've been getting kind of into. I didn't know Odin existed. The Odin dude. He's got a beard like me, so I'm like, I gotta watch that dude. I gotta support my beard brother, and he's pretty good. Odin's movie blog, yeah, he's all right, and yeah, world class bullshitters. But mostly, it's the Tribunal now. That's pretty much all I listen to. You guys are in the background. I think today I was listening to Mecha during her. By the way, happy anniversary, Mecha.
Yes, again.
And I was hanging up my Enterprise D on my ceiling, which I will unveil next Friday. And yeah, well, yes, because that's the only place I have room in my room is the ceiling. I have no more space anywhere else. Oh man, there was like no news today, man. That I saw. Wait a minute. Well, there's Wendig. It's like, what a tool, that guy. What a total fucking tool.
Populi Suprema asked if we watched the new season of Archer. I haven't really watched Archer at all. I don't know if you watch it, Gary. I know Rob's.
I watched first season and did not continue with it. It's not bad. I just never I don't know. Never caught my fancy. It's funny. It's definitely funny. I know phrasing. I know what that is because a bunch of people I used to work with used to say that all the time.
Well, there you go. That's one of Rob's favorite sayings on that one. Let's see here. What else we got? Trying to get in the chats here, guys. You guys, there's so many of you now.
What did you think of Iron Fist 2 being canceled? Iron Fist.
I had to give a shit.
I don't give a shit. What do you think the big picture of that is, or do you think they just knew it sucked and let's get rid of it?
Between it just not doing that well, and I think they have a limited time and window on what they are able to do before the end of their contract, which I think is up either like this next year, the year after, I think it is. So they're probably, I don't know whose choices or who makes those choices. I'm sure it's a joint choice between Netflix and Marvel Television. And I'm sure if they're like, well, if we're going to only get this many shows out of you, we want this, this, and this, get rid of this, That's very possibly how it went down.
Yep. It's Star Trek Discovery bad, like the second season. And
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
It falls to the same tropes that Star Trek Discovery does. And I was really hoping somebody besides me would watch it and do some videos, because I think you guys could get tons of mileage off those. Yeah, it's a huge investment, 8 hours.
Right.
Seriously. It does some really stupid shit storytelling wise, and it does some like, oh god, it is just terrible.
Well, we all have to catch up on them. That's the problem, which is
Yeah.
ironic because Midnight's Edge originally started talking about the Daredevil series. That's where it started. If you go back to the first few videos that Kevin and Andre did, that's most what they talk about until Traintgate started anyway.
Yep. Traintgate. Oh god. I can't wait for Daredevil season 3. I heard it's dope. I heard it's good. So I love Daredevil, but everything else seems to be very Jessica Jones season 1 was pretty good, but that's because of David Tennant. It's been pretty bad, but like, oh god, just everything they've been doing lately. I'm still frustrated by that show so much because I love that character, and they brutalized it. Jeff Loeb is terrible. I've always kind of thought he sucked. He runs Marvel Television. He used to be a comic book writer, but prior to that, he used to be a producer, and he basically used comics to get back in the game, which a lot of people do. And I don't like the guy.
Well, no, that was just it. The first season of Iron Fist killed the momentum for me going into the. Like I literally got like I'm like all stoked to go into this. I'm like I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get back into this. I'm gonna get caught up. Go through the first season of Iron Fist. Felt like just a chore and a half. Episodes of the Defenders. I'm like I can't even pay attention to this anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Sigourney Weaver is such a foreboding, bad villain, you know. Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
She might take me to a cocktail party.
But everybody said good things about, Punisher and stuff like that. So I know I got to get
Punisher's good.
Him, but
oh yeah, Punisher's worth your time. That is excellent.
I wonder if we'll get like one more season of everything but Iron Fist. Defenders.
That's what
I don't think we'll get another one of those. I think that was a one and done.
Well, when I heard Kevin Feige is going to be hands-on on some of the television on DC streaming, that said a lot. I think that's...
Or you mean Disney streaming?
What did I say? I mean, DC.
Right.
I mean, sorry.
Close enough.
Bad nerd.
That's all right. They have a similar syllables. Sounds.
He's going to be hands-on on those on the Loki and Scarlet Witch stuff that's connected to the MCU, which tells me they're going to swing it towards the MCU. And I don't think Jeff Loeb will be in charge much longer. He doesn't have a good track record. I mean, Humans is under his watch. Iron Fist now, a canceled Netflix series. I mean, those guys are swimming in money over there.
Yeah. And it's Marvel.
And they canceled it. So
people hate watched the first season, I remember. Loktai asks, do we think Marvel on Netflix is starting to wear out? Not so much wear out, but this has all been culminating and coming down the line. I'm sure that they only have so many seasons or so many years that they're contractually obligated. And as soon as the contracts dry up everywhere else, Disney is going to make sure everything they have is either going to be on the Disney streaming service and on whatever other service they come up with to take care of the adult side of things.
Chulu asked me, why did you like the Punisher when he didn't act like the Punisher? Thought it was the biggest mistake of the show. I thought he acted like the Punisher. I've read a lot of Punisher. There was some very un-Punisher things, like some of the plot things I had a kind of a question with till I saw the end of the story. The only issue I would take is, I mean, it's a physical one. Is like he's short, like he's super short, and you can tell. And the Punisher's like a big dude, so that would probably be the only issue I take. Tom Jane is still my favorite Punisher of that awful movie, but
mine's Dolph Lundgren.
That one's good. I like that movie too. I do.
Isn't that one kind of to my knowledge, because I've never been a big Punisher fan. I know Andre is. I mean, I am a fan, don't get me wrong, but I've never been one that read like all the comics and stuff. Isn't that one like to this point like one of the closer ones to the original comics?
It kind of is. I mean, to the OG comic books. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I mean, the Punisher's gone through a million incarnations. Okay, well, yeah. The Punisher used to be a dumb Spider-Man villain, and then Frank Miller is who made him popular when he was in Daredevil, and he was completely different from when Garth Ennis, and then Garth Ennis took another take on him that was completely different. So there's multiple versions of the Punisher. I know, but I have
a soft spot for the Lundgren one though too.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I actually loved the Thomas Jane one, and well, not loved it, but I loved him in the part, and I loved the movie was pretty good too for the most part. And
great.
Warzone was good except for the cheesiness, but.
And I have a soft spot for Warzone because Ray Stevenson came to my comic shop and did a promo there, and I got to hang out with him. And he stayed. He was only supposed to come for 2 hours. He stayed for 6.
Wow,
the guy was fucking awesome. So he signed everything, and I couldn't believe how many kids were there. And I'm like, this is a rated R movie.
Well, it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
it seemed like it was. I don't know why they recast already, even though, but still, it didn't matter. The movie was decent. It just, I don't know if it was marketed well.
No, it was just to retain rights, and that's what it was. Just wish fought more crime than turned introspective. Yeah, it felt like I will give you this, Ichulu, that they had started something in Daredevil season 2, and it seems like they restarted. Like Daredevil season 2 almost didn't happen. Like we're going to tell his origin, but we kind of told it in Daredevil season 2. So, but I thought I was getting bored of it first, and if you watch my review, I'm like, I started out hating it, and then the ending rallied for me. Though I thought it was very good in the end.
Right.
But he better be shooting people for 10 episodes next season for sure. And that's the big thing, Ichula, with what we're getting with Netflix is it's a big fucking tease, because at the end of Iron Fist season 1, we were supposed to go after Kunlun, and then we didn't, but they set it up for next season, and he's not even fully Iron Fist. And then he gives his power away, and then he gets double fists out of fucking nowhere, and then we're supposed to wait for next season. Yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore, Netflix. And, Luke Cage did that too. They did this big build up and left it on a cliffhanger, and I don't know if we're going to get season 3 of Luke Cage.
That sucks, because I haven't seen season 2 yet. And I liked the first season, actually.
Jessica Jones season 2 was terrible.
That's what everybody says, and that's what, like, oh man, because I liked the first season. And it was actually, of all of them, Jessica Jones surprised me the most.
It was like postmodern trash.
I did not
nobody's bad.
I did not expect to like Jessica Jones at all.
Yeah, it was based on a very good comic, a very good comic book run. So it had good source material, but once they got away from that, so yeah, the one you weren't expecting to like is season 2. So if you see that, it'll meet your lowered expectations. So
I've heard bad things. That's the thing. Same thing now with you and Iron Fist season 2. But I didn't like Iron Fist season 1, so I have no expectations for. I mean, I honestly, unless there's the only reason I watched Iron Fist is because I had to see the Defenders. I'll be 100% honest. If I'd have got 2-3 episodes into that, I would have been surprised otherwise. And yeah, Dead School brought it up. The only the biggest problem with Punisher is that it has post Battlefield Earth Travolta in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
after that movie, he just wasn't the same.
Nope. Scientology the movie.
Yep,
man, that is I tried to start hate watching that, and I couldn't do it. It was so
I even watched Look Who's Talking Now, and he's all right in that. Because at least he's consistent throughout those movies. Then after Battlefield Earth, the man just went in fucking insane. Like every part was just nuts. Like he went to the nth degree, and not in a good way. So I don't know.
He had such a comeback. I mean, thanks to Quentin. I mean, he was his career was dead. And then
well, yeah, speaking of Look Who's Talking Now, because that was the year 2 or before that, and it was like nobody was caring anymore.
Yeah, nobody cared about the guy. And then people were calling him a modern Marlon Brando after Pulp Fiction. And then what was that goddamn movie where he was an angel or some shit? And then
Michael.
Yes, Michael. Oh god damn.
That was a big hit for him.
It was. Then there was Face Off.
And Phenomenon too.
Phenomenon.
Face Off.
Yeah.
And Broken Arrow. Hammed it up in Broken Arrow. See, he was enjoyably hammy in Broken Arrow.
Don't fire at the nuclear weapons. Going on around here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're gonna blow it up.
I love Broken Arrow.
It's hammy fun.
Movie.
It's corny. It's cheesy, but it's so like early 90s action goodness. Yeah. Everything is there. Everything you need is there. It's like, oh man. But then after Battlefield Earth, though, it just something changed in the guy. I don't know what it was, but I have not seen but maybe one or two movies since that I can really stand him in. And he was one of the worst parts of that movie. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the last good movie I saw him in was it Primary Colors, where he played
Oh
Bill Clinton?
gosh. Yeah,
That was
that
a
would have
long time
been
ago. Yeah, that was long ass time ago.
97, 8, somewhere in there,
Yeah.
99 maybe.
That one, I mean, it wasn't great, believe me.
No, but it was worthy of
Yeah.
mentioning, yeah. Yeah, because I'm trying to think otherwise too, because that was right about the time he did Battlefield Earth, and that was it. After that, it was everything was shit after that.
Scientology. You know what? Biggest mystery, thanks to South Park, the mystery was solved.
They blew the lid off all of them.
Battlefield Earth is complete shit. Oh, I heard the book is complete shit. I mean, like the source material. I heard L. Ron Hubbard's a shitty writer. He's terrible. He's good at creating religions, though. Got to give him props to that.
Are you kidding me? If I was going to start a religion based on aliens, I would not use that.
No.
That is the most unbelievable bullshit in the world. And I'm sorry, and we don't usually get into religion and politics, but I'll just be flat out honest with everybody. I pretty much think pretty much all religion to me is equally dumb, to be honest with you. It's just, if you live by a good set of morals and you're a good person, that to me, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Mormon. I don't care if you're, Hindu or whatever. It doesn't matter. Is Hindu even no? Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's not no, it's a religion. It's not a philosophy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I could remember, because like Buddhism's a philosophy, right? Technically,
but no, you could. Well, yeah, it's a religion. I mean, like you don't see fundamental Buddhists. Well, maybe you do. I can't say I have the worldview for that. I'm not good at
this shit. That's the thing. I'm not a theologian to begin with. To me, it's all
neither.
It's all like whatever. As long as you don't steal other people's shit, fuck each other's wives, and kill each other, that's all that matters.
It is a religion, and yeah,
okay, there you go,
dude. If it brings you peace and happiness, fuck yeah.
I got nothing against anybody's religion. What I hate is when someone who's like Christian, theology is just stupid. It's like, okay, well, what are you talking to some guy in the sky? Is any more dumber than that? I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, it was like when you guys were doing the alien show the other night. It's like I wanted to get into that a little bit too, because it's like I wanted to bring up whole UFOs in the Bible and in old art and stuff, how they just pop up, and how we have these. You brought up some of the civilization stuff, I think too, with stuff like that and all that kind of stuff. It's like there's so much unexplained stuff out there from the past that gives a little bit more evidence to that we were probably visited by something from another planet that gave us some type of knowledge, or we're even possibly just some experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
Other planet.
And that doesn't take away from the religion part, because like we're wired to be spiritual people.
Right.
So
right. We aim to look at pop culture in general. We are, like you said, we're basically wired to worship something we love.
Yeah.
Even when we fall in love with somebody, you almost worship that person. You can generally tell in a relationship who's the one who's really in love and who's the one.
I was telling the story on one of my live streams that the happiest person on earth that I know, who is like fucking, his life is just fucking perfect. And I'm in AA. So we always want to say, you always want to look and see the parts of other people that you want that they got, and try to emulate that, So if a guy's like super sober, like he's like level 10 sober, it's like, I want to be like that dude. Well, there's a guy who's a UPS driver. I won't say his name. Happiest motherfucker I've ever seen. I mean, like his life through and through is a good life. He's got good kids. He's got a good wife. He's just got a great life. And he's a UPS driver. And people go, huh? He's not the richest man in the world. He's not the poorest man in the world. He's just the happiest man in the world. And it's like, I want to be like that dude when I grow up.
I'll be honest with you. In my experience, it's probably a lot harder to find somebody to be happy with than it is to make yourself happy. And
yeah. Well, what I forgot to mention was that he's got Jesus in his life. He's straight up Christian,
if that's what works for
you. Practice. Yeah, and it works for him. I mean, it wouldn't work for me, but if it works for him, awesome. Yeah, what I don't understand is, I mean, I'm I guess an agnostic, but an atheist, and that's cool. I got a lot of my friends are atheists, but I don't understand the militant non-belief in something. Like, I don't like pizza.
Right.
I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
that I don't like pizza.
I'm more
I don't like
agnostic
you
on
like
that
pizza.
sense, yeah.
Liking pizza. Yeah, I don't understand that.
No, I totally get where you're. That's pretty much where I'm at. So I totally understand what you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
apologizing to our chat. We're like getting really 420 now. It's like the whole
420,
universe
bro. Oh yeah,
is
Hell
in
no.
the back of our nail, man.
don't get me started on the ancient civilizations. I'll talk your ear off.
I know that's where I was going to get you guys the other night, and I was like, okay, I'll just stay out of it because you guys are doing your thing, and
Well,
I don't want to get you going on another venture.
Hopefully, we do another one of those. Those were fun.
Yeah, that was good. I was listening to it. It was fun. I try to listen to you guys. That's the thing is, I know how much I love this stuff because I don't hear you guys in my sleep. Like when I had jobs that I hated.
Yeah,
you hear the noises and stuff in your sleep. It's just
just got away from one. Just got away from one.
Man, I hear
you. My God, I've been so happy the last week and a half. Yeah.
But yeah, we're just getting on a tangent here about all kinds of philosophical shit.
This is basically one of our podcasts.
Off of Iron Fist.
Off of Iron Fist. Yes.
Which started with
the Tao of Kunlun or whatever. I don't know.
All of YouTube in one place. You don't have to worry about switching videos on. You can start watching a video about how to fix your sink and wind up watching kitten videos. No. Eventually we're going to get to kittens, folks. So
we're going to fix your sink with kittens.
There you go.
Actually use kittens to fix your sink. There you go.
This is illegal in Maine, though, by the way. Just
only, in Maine, it's practically Canada anyway.
Probably Utah, but everything's illegal in Utah. So
yeah, ask Mary; she would know.
We're talking about her. She's not even in the chat right now.
No, she's cheating on us right now. She started at my channel too.
That's what I was told. But she's a hell of a wrench wench, if you want to call her that, because she's everywhere and everywhere. It seems like all the time.
I think she's probably had a long day.
Oh yeah, it's been a long day.
It has.
It's been a very long day.
You got anything new coming on the big channel or this one?
Well, Andre's working on a Trek video. I don't know the specifics of that. I've been working on my Tommy Lee Wallace interview, try and get that done before Halloween. We do have a Halloween mini documentary we're working on, hopefully to get out by next week to correspond with the new movie. Yeah, so we've been busy boys. Other than that, as far as upcoming on After Dark, we've been just mainly trying to do the news briefs and the live shows like this. So you just get more of that over here. That's about it.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been kind of trying to work on a video, but I kind of ran into a dead end.
Hate it when that happens.
Well, I just kind of opened up this deal to the idea that Spider-Man may have been somewhat stolen. At least not the concept, but the costume. And it's this whole convoluted story that includes Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and Ben Cooper costumes. Because 2 years prior to Spider-Man's existence, Ben Cooper had a Halloween costume called Spider-Man. And it looked very similar to the Spider-Man costume. The only difference was it was all yellow with black webbing. And there's a possibility that was it Jack Kirby possibly worked at Ben Cooper at that time, so he could have very well even designed that costume. And there's the famous story that Stan Lee went to Jack Kirby first to design Spider-Man. He didn't like his design and then went to Steve Ditko. And in between there's a lot of muddiness as far as what really went down and how. Because all of a sudden, the year that Spider-Man premiered, the very first bit of merchandise to hit was a Ben Cooper costume.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That'd be a stretch. I mean, the webbing and the mask. I can't see the costume. The webbing and the mask.
But the funky thing was, and this is what makes it funky, though, and I get what you're saying. There's a bit of a,
wow. Okay, now I'm looking at the costume.
Now, the first costume they did, though, was almost like a complete merge of those two costumes. Because Spider-Man has no yellow in his costume, but there's a shitload of yellow and the black webbing in this costume. And the rumor around that nobody can really pin down, because Ben Cooper's records were burned like in the 50s, I think, in a fire. So nobody can really tell for sure when Jack Kirby worked there. And not only that, the whole thing with the costume coming up right away and how that just came about. And it was probably one of those things where Ben Cooper wasn't a big enough company at that time, or they didn't copyright it necessarily correctly, or maybe even Jack Kirby owned that design per se. I have no idea. That's what I've been trying to find out. And because there's this muddy area between there to where it's like, okay, wouldn't you think Ben Cooper would have turned around and sued Stan Lee and Marvel just simply on the name and the look alone to a point? But that's where I think there was some kind of handshaking going on behind the scenes, and it all worked out in the end for them. So like I said, it kind of ran into a dead end with it, but it was going to be like kind of an addendum to the Spider-Man mini documentary.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Just kind of like that idea of like, maybe Spider-Man wasn't necessarily as pure as we think, but
that stuff never is. It's weird, and it could have been subconscious, but
oh yeah, well, yeah, that's just it. If you think of an idea, 3 other people have already thought about it.
That's for sure.
And Spider-Man is just such a go-to, It was
I was actually going to work on a video that was kind of it was a reaction to yours, to your guys' Spider-Man documentary, which I still might do. So it's not going to be informational. So I'm not going to be repeating any information from your stuff. It's going to be kind of what I think people should do with the information that you provided, which I think is very good. But I think it would kind of make some people mad. But
for it, man.
But I think I'm going to do the video because
I'd love to see that.
Well, because I think Spider-Man's in a little bit of jeopardy right now, especially that Venom was #1 again this weekend. And it's making a shit ton of money. And I think that just really goes behind everything you guys said in that video, that Sony is going to pull Spider-Man back. Bet your ass they're going to pull Spider-Man back.
Well, I heard something today that might give us an idea of what's really going on or possibly going on, but I'll get into that in a moment. You were going to finish your thought. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, unless there's any late developments or the deal was not up at this, maybe it's longer than I thought or what I heard. But if they only have one movie to go, and they get a sniff of success, oh hell yeah, they're going to take that character back.
Because there's just a moment, because Secret Rebel has a question for you, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, and me too. But what 80s toon properties do you have a nostalgia for?
80s cartoon properties that I have a nostalgia for. 80s. Early 80s. Okay, so Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I have an absolute nostalgia for. That is my single. I love that fucking cartoon to death. As far as like late 80s stuff, I was a huge fan of the Beetlejuice cartoon. I like the Ghostbusters. I love those 2 cartoons, but that was when I was a teenager, so I was getting really stoned. G.I. Joe, of course. Transformers, of course. But my absolute favorite was just all the superhero stuff in the early 80s. But Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is my favorite.
I ate that shit up too. And I loved all the stuff Gary mentioned pretty much, especially Masters of the Universe. And Ninja Turtles were probably 2 that stuck out besides Ghostbusters and a few of the ones Gary mentioned already. So, yeah. And then this will kind of answer one of GOD's questions here. To get back on the Spidey thing, I seen how accurate it is. But supposedly, Sony wanted to use Green Goblin in Sable, Black Cat and Silver Sable. But MCU wants to use them.
Oh.
And I'm sitting here thinking, where are they going to fit this in with like you just pointed out? They're making the final Sony Disney movie right now. What's the deal here? I'm starting to wonder if Sony didn't get cold feet and made a deal with Disney ahead of time. Because notice there was that quick shift from R to PG-13.
Yep. Then they shot the movie as an R.
Exactly. And then they kept saying, oh, no, it was always going to be PG. Bullshit. You go type in R-rated Venom and you go back a few weeks and you can see there's tons and tons and tons of articles. And even Tom Hardy's talking about how the movie was going to be R and all that shit. Don't give us that crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I said too. It's like, if you were going to do a PG-13 movie, then why didn't you just work with Disney and make it a part of the MCU, so you could have had Spider-Man involved? And then all of a sudden, we're also hearing about the Craven movie with Spider-Man involved. I'm wondering if they didn't extend the deal before Venom came out because they got cold feet. It's a possibility. And in this new deal, maybe they worked it out to where they could use Spider-Man more in their stuff, but I doubt it, because if that was, there's a big part of doubt in there. I don't know, because a lot of the stuff we're hearing is rumor and second party, and it could have been something that was 3-4 months ago that just they were gonna maybe use Green Goblin and Spider-Man or Far From Home, whatever you want to call it. But
it seems like Sony's forgotten that they're the company that was almost ready to sell a couple of years ago. Like,
just recently, because one of the higher ups was saying something about, if somebody came to them with the right price and all that kind of crap.
Oh, they're still going to sell. The movie business is tough right now, and with the streaming stuff going on, it's just a matter of time.
Oh yeah,
or they're going to dissolve.
Yeah, I mean, all they've got is, I don't get me wrong. I've said it before. Tom Rothman was the best thing that ever happened to Sony. Since Tom Rothman's been there, they've had their best success in years. And actually, they probably arguably are doing as well as they did back when Coke owned them back in the 80s, to where they're actually having hits and they're not relying so much on the franchise stuff and doing exactly what Tom Rothman is good at for the most part. But this Venom thing is just
weird. And I ended up liking it. That's the weirdest part.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was going to go see it again. I was going to say again, but I haven't seen it yet. I was going to try and see it again today, in the sense that I've tried to see it 2 or 3 times, but I also have to have the desire to go see it.
Yeah. That plays a lot into stuff. I gotta want to see it.
I mean, I do to a point. There's that curiosity factor there, like most people have, but
it's not bad. I wouldn't pay full price for it. Yeah, definitely matinee it. Yeah, $5 or $6, whatever it is in your part of the country. A matinee in our part of the country is like almost $20, like $15, something like that. It's stupid. That's on top of the whatever I'm paying for parking. Fucking love California.
Oh, I hear you, man. I want to get out there to check it out. I've never actually been to California. But...
You've never been to Cali? Shit, no. We got to get you out here, man.
I was supposed to go earlier this last year, or this year. Andre was out that way, but I just didn't have the money to do it. So,
well, we should get you to like a Comic-Con, like not San Diego because it's impossible. We'll get you to WonderCon. Go down to WonderCon, hang out in LA, go to Disneyland. That'd be fun.
Catch a cold.
Catch a cold.
That's what I hear. The famous stories. Everybody always gets a cold from one of those.
On crud, yes.
But no. What's this? Speaking of comics and cons and all that kind of stuff, you guys are going to which con are you guys going to? You're talking about it earlier.
We did just an impromptu live stream that's now been removed from the channel. It's going to my website, nerdrodic.com. In a little bit. Yeah, we're going to San Diego Comic-Con. We got tickets this morning. Stoked. So it was open. They opened it up for returning. So if you've been before, you were able to. You're the first ones to be able to get tickets. And Christ, Con was only like 3 months ago. So you basically get an email and you get a number. You get a serial number and you put it, and you go into a digital waiting room and you watch something spin for a half hour, an hour. And if it pops up, you got in, and if it doesn't, you did. And Dennis got in. I didn't, but he was able to buy tickets for me. So he and I are going next year. It's the 50th Comic-Con, and it will be my last. I say that every year, but I really mean it. Like, this is my last San Diego Comic-Con. I am not going anymore. I've been to so many. Somebody else should go. And it's not like nearly as fun as it used to be.
I'd love to go, but that's just it. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, is it's just not.
If it's like you've never gone, yes, go. If you get a chance to go, like, you guys are big enough, you could get press. Has Andre ever tried to get press for
I don't think so. We've talked to him a little bit about that. I think we have to get like a business license or whatever over here. I have no idea. I just, yeah. I've looked into it a little bit.
I'll double check into it. I don't think you need that. I think you have enough subscribers on your channel. I think you would qualify.
Because, yeah, we've discussed that with him in the past as far as like, how do we get press passes to stuff like this?
Yeah, Rivers727, it's just too crowded. He said, I don't think SDCC is for me. I mean, if you're into the whole experience of it, there's a lot of stuff to do outside. There's a bunch of people there. It's like any other event. It depends on who you go with, really. There's enough to do to where if you just go spend about an hour or two inside the con, you're not going to get any comic book deals, but you are going to like bump into Todd McFarlane. I mean, there's tons of movie stars just walking around, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of free events. San Diego's a really cool town. That's why it works. I mean, San Diego's like a really, really cool town that doesn't have a ton of nerd distractions. So like if you have a con in Vegas, you know, I'm going to go gamble. If you have a con in LA, well, you go to Disneyland and stuff. San Diego is like got the beach. That's about it. You know, it's a good
nerds don't like the beach.
Nerds don't like the beach.
We burn.
Yep.
There's not enough sun.
Yeah, there's plenty of sun. It's fucking hot. Seth MacFarlane was there. I saw a panel with Seth MacFarlane for the Orville.
See, now I was just going to turn around and wrap this up a little bit, unless you got somewhere to go, Gary, because now we got more viewers than we had a few minutes ago. So
what? Wow.
Yeah,
hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
What about SeaWorld? You don't want to go to SeaWorld. It's just yeah.
I can't go to SeaWorld. They'll try and throw me back in.
No, I grew up in San Diego, so I never went to SeaWorld because that was touristy stuff. But no,
my only thing
it's a great town.
You're like, this is where Jaws 3 was. That was it.
Was it?
Show me where they filmed Jaws 3.
I could.
I don't know. I think it was that one.
I think they still have the original OG Jaws the dumb one at Universal Studios. I could take you up there in LA. Yeah,
I thought they got rid of it.
Did they get rid of it? Well, shit.
I don't know. I thought they did.
I was there a year ago and it was still there.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they brought it back. King Kong, I'm thinking of. Did they get rid of King Kong?
They made it. They got rid of the OG King Kong. It's something else now. It's a King Kong type of ride. It's King Kong 4D, and it's really cool. Actually, I liked it a lot. Yeah, I had a good time on it.
Yeah, I'd love to get out there one of these days. It's just having the money and stuff like that, and I'd never. That'd be wanting just trouble. But he'd never let me live it down if I did.
Well, dude, we'll get you out here, man. Talking about nostalgia for tunes, does anybody remember Topps Trump superhero cards from the 70s? The artwork on Galactus was especially cool and detailed. I remember some stickers from the 70s. Is that what you're talking about? Where they had everybody had funny sayings and stuff.
Let's say, is that Garbage Pail Kids coming from? Is that the one he's talking about?
Maybe. No. The only
talking about
he's talking about like one. Topps like superhero cards. I don't remember those. I remember the stickers.
Oh, there was I didn't get any superhero cards till Marvel had that famous line in the early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah. The only thing prior to that I remember was the stickers, which were,
and it's because of that card line of why I know most of the characters I know and what I know about them. To be honest with you, that was great because you had all the characters and you had all the look on the back and you had all the stats and everything, and
yeah, well, shit, that was awesome. Yeah, God, there was cards everywhere. I worked for Upper Deck for a little while when I was a kid.
Did you?
I did.
That's cool. Oh, I used to buy those sons of bitches, and not the sports cards, but the Ninja Turtle cards, the movie card, anything movie related that I was into, or television show, or
I still have Simpson my Superman the movie. I have an unopened box of Superman the movie, Superman 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Cool.
Yeah. Like when eBay first started, I went on a fucking nuts with if you search wax box, it's called a wax box, an unopened wax box, and I fucking like just dropped crazy money on that shit. There was no pictures. Remember, were you on eBay like in the early days?
Yeah, it was pretty bad back then. You were taking some chances.
You got half the time you got your shit.
It's not so bad now.
No.
So I was just telling the story to Rob the other night about I just ordered the Beatles box set, and I think it was a Chinese reject. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, because on the side of Let It Be, it says with the Beatles. And when I messaged the seller, all they did was offer me a discount. Didn't even deny nothing or anything. But no, because like I've heard stories about where like at the factories there, they'll let the employees take home some of the rejects and they'll go sell them on eBay for dirt cheap, basically, from some of the factories over there. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least because they're expensive box sets. And I got it for dirt cheap. So, and everything I mean, it looks legit and everything. If it's a bootleg, it's a really good bootleg. So I think it was just a reject because of the spine. Retails for almost $200.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I paid like 40, so 45.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's great.
It took a couple weeks to get here, but I've noticed the same thing with toys and some other things, and that's where I heard about it was on. I'll watch some of the toy like podcast or videos that like Pixel Dan and some of those guys and whatnot, and they talk about that stuff sometimes. So
yeah,
I see Ninja Turtle ones and stuff like that, NECA ones all the time on there where they're just something's either not right on them or whatever to where they're just that much cheaper than buying them over here.
And if you don't care, well, yeah, saving the $160, no problem, no fucking problem.
Well, it was pretty much. I mean, some of them, if I want them in a nice one in a box and I know I want it for safekeeping, I will. But if it's one I want just for out to play with on display, then yeah.
Mary Highlands mentioning the San Diego Zoo. The San Diego Zoo is dope, but there's something that's better, Mary, in San Diego. It's called the Wild Animal Park. If you go 20 miles north, so it's basically just a bigger zoo, but they have more of a free habitat because it's just a huge chunk of land. And you get like on a little bus and you drive through like, free range rhinos and shit. And it's really cool. And there's one of the best zip lines ever. You go over the entire park if you're into the zip lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all there is to do. You get a carne asada burrito, you go to the zoo, you go to the beach, that's your day in San Diego.
You know what's sad is I'll get out there and like, it's funny because, like you used to run a comic shop and you're going to do your new pop-up stand or whatever you were talking about doing. Yeah. I'll get out there and I never get to like comic shops or any like specialty place. That's how I'll do is I'll end up getting.
That's what I do. Yeah, I go to that's what I go somewhere. I go to comic shops. I went to London. That's the first fucking thing I did was go to Forbidden Planet. Yeah.
Because I just don't have access to that stuff around here. It's like even record stores. God, I miss record stores too.
You need to come here. Of them. We've got
and like one of the last real video stores is closing down near here too, and it's not even close. I can't say near here, but it's the closest one. Which one were you going to say?
I was going to say, you come out here. We still got dollar rental places. I mean, they're little mom and pop weirdo places, but
I just love raiding them because you can find movies that are. And I'm not out to rent anything really. It's like obviously I can't because I'm not going to be there for long. But
sure, Lay Video is still around. Lay Video was awesome.
But just to find stuff to buy, it's like because just to stumble across stuff I can't find anywhere else or haven't seen in years.
I take you to if I take you to Amoeba, you'll be happy. Amoeba music. It's right at the end of Haight. So it's Haight and Ashbury, and you just go down a couple more blocks where Hippie Hill is, and you would be lost in there. Knowing you would get lost in there for
probably. Well, like a lot of the little specialty shops around here just have been killed out by the, like the Goodwill type stores, the resale shops. Like everybody's got a resale shop now. It's like this latest thing. It's like, oh, they can't sell their shit on eBay, so they open up a store, or they just do it so they can say they're a business or whatever. I don't know. Like I even got a friend who sells a lot of stuff on eBay and stuff like that, and I keep asking him why he just doesn't open up a shop like everybody else too. But yeah, it's just like
all you need to do is a pop-up now. You don't have to like get a permanent location.
Yeah, so that's what you were talking about. What exactly is your plan? Whatever you want to talk about, anyway. As far as
the plan is to find something pretty close to my house, but I can now go into a higher traffic area because pop-ups are available now, and they're really fucking cheap. There's a lot of if you don't know what a pop-up is, it's basically somebody leaves their lease early. They bail out of their lease, a retail location. You go into you can either use, there's apps for it. You can find, there's actually groups, management companies that'll find it. You do it on your own. You hit up the landlord. You go, hey, I'll finish out the lease, or I'll do 3 months here, and we'll just cut a deal for 3 months. And if you get somebody else in, I'll bail. It's just so the landlord can get a little bit of money, and it's at a greatly reduced rate. So like a smaller business like a comic shop could go to a higher traffic area and not pay as much. So we're not paying first month, last month.
We definitely don't have anything like that here.
Yeah, that's so yeah, I'm planning to kind of go close to where near San Francisco State. If you guys know the area, I want to be near the college and where I used to be a little bit, which I don't know. That's going to make the guy I sold my shop mad. I hope not, because I mean, it's going to be temporary until I find a more permanent location. But yeah, I got enough stuff to open up a store tomorrow. So actually, that's what I've been going through it.
I'm kind of in the same position as you with my video store. I could have opened up another store the day after, but it was like, yeah, it was just nobody wanted one anymore. And my problem is my store just couldn't make it between that transition from VHS to DVD, because I had the DVD selection. I could have beat any movie gallery or Blockbuster in the near vicinity with the selection of DVDs I had when I closed. But that was my thing, was like I was getting into the DVDs and I was like getting away from the VHS, and it was in that transition where some people were getting pissed because I stopped carrying some of the VHS and stuff. It's like, these fuckers are expensive, and it ain't worth it. There ain't enough of you to rent them. It's like,
no,
I can't justify spending that much on a movie that only 3 people are going to rent. It's like,
and the nostalgia for video is going to be very short-lived.
Well, yeah, it's got this thing. It's really just a niche, market thing, and
that sucks. I worked at the warehouse. And I ran the video department, and that was fun. That was a great job. I got paid dick, but I had so much fun.
I would have loved it too, probably. That sounded like something that had been up my alley. But no, I would have in a heartbeat too if I'd had the opportunity to. And then the other one that started for a while there was the resale game shops, but I knew those weren't going to last.
Nope. But that's the kind of thing you could do. You could do you could do a video store. I mean, you'd have to start with your DVDs, and make it like a book video store, and just do a used place.
There's a couple places around like that, but they started mainly with the video games, but they obviously had to start incorporating movies because games are so, I don't know how you call the market, but it's not, they bounce around so much that
there's no profit in it.
And even look at like things like GameStop and what they have to deal with, and it's like you would think they would have no issues making profits, but they're constantly struggling. And I think a lot of it, and I know the industry themselves does not like resale games, and it's made it to the point where they've done everything they could to make it almost impossible for you to make it even worth you going out and buying a used game for that reason. And what are you going to do anymore? It's getting to a point. So it's like, no matter what they do, it was the same thing with video stores to begin with. It was like Netflix almost made it impossible for them to go on.
Yeah. Like, once they get out of the physical media department, they'll probably start making a lot more money. But the drawback of that, at least games, you can, I don't know, you can't, you can keep, console games, it's harder to pirate, but
no. Making it more difficult with the companies themselves are trying to on purpose, to where with the DLC and you have to have this code and that code to whatever to start the game anymore, and you almost have to be online to play the game and all this other bullshit.
Sounds exhausting.
It is, and that's why I mean I've got like half a dozen or better, or actually more than that, PS4 games, and I've only played the damn thing for maybe 5-6 hours total. Maybe a little bit more. I played one of the Arkham Asylum things all the way through on VR and a couple other things, but it's really, it's just too much to go through and a hassle. It seems like half time.
It really is. Game. Blue Cat 42 says, I'm thankful to have the few comic shops still around where I live. One of the biggest problems with comic shops, Blue Cat 42, is a good half of them aren't really comic shops. I hate to poke because I love my comic shop brothers and sisters out there, and I'm very proud to be back in the ranks and grateful and happy to be back. Cross your fingers. But a lot of them are just newsstands. They just carry new stuff, a few new toys, not really a comic store. A comic, and they just rely 100% on the new releases. That's why so many shops closed, is because those were the shops that relied completely on the new stuff. Which if you know that, like, all comic store used to started out like the first record store started out exactly the same way. It's just a guy or a girl, I can't remember, but with record. But with comics shops, started here in San Francisco. A guy named Gary Arlington opened up San Francisco Comics in 1969, something like that, and he just had a bunch of comics. Had a bunch of old fucking comics. It's basically his collection, and he started selling it, and wasn't selling new stuff. It was years before he got new stuff.
Right.
That's what a comic store is. It shouldn't need the new stuff. People have gotten so far away from that I'm trying to bring that back, because especially now the old stuff is cheaper. Especially recent old stuff is a lot cheaper now, and it would be cheaper for me to sell. And
Right.
my profitability on the stuff that I have now is 100% because it's all paid for. So a long time ago.
So like back when you did have the original store, was that how you guys basically, was it like, did the new stuff kind of keep the lights on, but when you would get like a good sale of something old, was that really what, fed you guys? And
so more than half my business was new stuff. It was like 60%, but when I bought the store, it was like 80 to 90%. So I had moved it to, I brought back issues, which a lot of people don't do because they're a ton of work, but they can really pay off. If you organize them, if you keep them organized and you know what the heck, and you actually read them, you're fine. You'll sell back issues all day long. I had lots of dollar books and then vintage toys. And what I did was, it takes a little money up front, but I just started buying collections, and not like super expensive collections. I started buying loose action figures. And I would buy, like, oh my God, I would just buy them at, a huge lot. Like, I get 100 action figures for like, I don't know, $100.
right.
And then I'd keep buying stuff like that. And I eventually had like just these huge bins full of action figures, and I'd sell them for $5 a pop. And you just go in there. I sold so many of those. It was like printing money. So the kids would come in and just buy, and the parents just looked at it as like an impulse buy, and it wasn't like some cheap, stupid McDonald one. It was an actual like Toy Biz action figure, like missing the weapon or something like that. Yeah. And I did stuff like that made me a lot of money.
There you go.
Yeah, and it was fun. So
yeah, and I can see, I would love that, but it's like, that's what I said. The same problem I had with my video store was like, I came in that the wrong time in the transition, and not only that, 9/11 happened right in the middle of it all.
Ugh.
Oh God, that hit me so fucking hard. I'm sure you have an idea. If you have, it's like everything just died.
Everything stopped. That was the weirdest time. We'll never see anything like that, I don't think.
I mean, that pretty much killed me, to be honest with you. It was like there was no recovering from that couple months there when things just went to shit, because that was right before the holiday season. It was, the first year of business, and most businesses don't make that far, and I'd worked in the industry. I knew the shit. I knew what I was doing. I had the insight to know that DVD was coming and it was going to be big, but I just couldn't hang on long enough. It was one of those things. I had to get a real job,
Yeah.
Had a baby, so I couldn't fuck around. I couldn't just keep trying. I had to get, something that actually paid the bills.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So,
well,
I'm sure you know how it is.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's when I sold my store, it was the hardest fucking decision I ever had to make, but it was, we already have another business in the family. My wife and I own a salon, so we couldn't have two, and, 2 kids, and San Francisco, and 2008 happened. And yeah, it was actually, I made it past 2008, but it paid. I was just fucking burnt. When 2013 rolled around, I couldn't afford to have employees anymore. So it was just me, and I was done. Now I'm ready to go back. Joker's79 says, we have about 10 full comic stores in my area. You must be like in LA or the Bay or near me or in New York. or Florida, maybe.
You need to put your stuff online though, like an online store too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do Instagram,
Awesome.
eBay, Amazon.
I was
We're
gonna say
doing
because that'll
it
help.
in my website. Yeah,
Because I know with like Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, it was because of that show that they were able to still probably be open from the sound of things. They're one of the few major comic shops left out there. It's like,
yeah, our big one closed a while back. Comic Relief. That was our big one in Berkeley that closed. We still have a bunch of little ones here, and that they're doing fine.
that's good.
There's 7 or 8 around me.
At least you got those. Like I said, I don't even know if I'd like to. I'd have to look and see how far I'd have to go to get to one. The closest one I know is it closed years ago, and yeah, it's sad. And that was one of those ones where it was a little brick building, and the sign just simply said baseball cards.
Oh, the simplicity of it. God, I can't wait to get back.
It was just this little square building. You'd walk in on one in the middle. They had just buttloads of sports cards and other cards, and along the walls, it was all comics and stuff.
Am I gonna Tylon Ranger is asking if I'm going to sell independent comics or just stuff from Diamond. I am gonna try to rely on Diamond as little as possible. So I will carry the big 2 and Dark Horse and all that, but instead of going indie through Diamond, I am going to be using Indiegogo. I'm going to be hitting a lot of those, because it seems like
real independent guys.
Yeah, the real independent guys who
and
gals who are self-starters enough to go in Indiegogo, and a lot of the guys, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Some of them have channels. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm going to go to.
Cool.
I'm not going to, and nobody's going to tell me what comic I can carry in my store or not.
There you go.
Ass.
That's the way to do her.
Yep.
Oh, I know. That was my problem too. Is the building I was renting. That's what killed me also. And this is funny. The guy was so religious, he wouldn't allow me to rent pornos.
Well, that could have been your rent.
That was I know. That's what killed me. And I thought it so long and hard about, like, do I try to do it under the table somehow to where, like, this guy doesn't find, I knew he would find out though. I was too paranoid. And it was like, I can't get kicked out because it was good price for rent and it was a nice sized building. And, it was like, I can't fuck that up, but oh man, yeah, that really killed me when I couldn't. Because I had a perfect little room for it too.
Oh man, that was the difference right there.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it, because every video store I worked at where it was not a chain where we actually had porn. Shit. Dude. Oh god, in a given day, you think you could rent some new releases? Psh, your porn guys, those are the ones who are your bread and butter. And they knew what day the new movies came in, and they would complain if their type of movie wasn't there.
Yeah. You were making money. Yeah, back in the 90s, if you had a porn video shop, you were making money. Oh my god.
Well, I know that's what kept the one store alive that I worked at. That I didn't own it or anything. Like, I just worked for them, and it was a mom and pop shop. But oh yeah, there was one guy who come in every day to get tranny porn.
You're like, okay, man. So
he would complain.
Something out.
He would complain when we wouldn't. He's like, why don't you guys get some more? You guys never get any new ones. It's like, we just get what they send, man. It's like, it's not like the other movies, it's just like any other. They get one of everything, It's like
no shame in his game. Right on.
Yeah, whatever. It was just funny how he complained like almost every day.
Don't have enough tranny porn.
It's like,
why are you out?
There's a thing called the internet. It's like I told him.
God.
Yeah, and he complained straight out in front of everybody. That was what was so hilarious.
Yeah, that's no shame in his game. That's fucking great. Yeah. I had to kind of admire that confidence. He didn't give a shit. I like tranny porn. So what? What you looking at? Oh, I hope somebody doesn't separate
chicks
that.
With dicks.
Audio.
Yeah, no. I've said enough stuff. I've said enough stuff in my days that if they were going to ruin me by now, they would have. So,
Ticketman Blade said Diamond ruined the industry. In the long run, it really did.
After X-Men last night, I'm probably ruined anyway.
What's funny is you're talking about X-Men, but you guys didn't know what Minora Team was. Rob was struggling with that. He's all, there's a thing called Minora Team.
I think he looked it up. He
Adult
does that.
Swim is Minority Team, which is basically the X-Men. It's basically
which is funny that he does
anti-
because that's like his. He knows all those shows and shit, which is funny that he didn't.
the show's fucking hilarious. It's like so un-PC. It's unbelievable. So yeah, Minority Team. Check it out.
I'll have to now. Yeah.
Funny. Will you be selling X-Files comics from the 90s? Also Concrete by Paul Chadwick. Yes. I have both in my collection.
Blue Cat mixed out on the Mex-Men thing. I accidentally said Mex-Men instead of X-Men, and it became this thing for like 20 minutes or better.
The Hefe Nut and Margarita Nito. And yeah.
What was the other one? It was their version of Storm. He is good at lecturing.
Yes, the Lost World was, well, it wasn't filmed in San Diego. It took place in San Diego, CD Horde, but they did not actually film Jurassic Park.
And we were casting all the X-Men with Hispanic actors. We were going to hell for that one. I know it already.
Yeah,
but we got plenty. The funny thing is how much positive feedback we've gotten since last night or night before we did that? Was it last night? It was last night. And we've already gotten quite a few comments about I'm Mexican and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that would be the best parody ever.
And everybody's like, now we want our Mexican.
Get on that.
Give us
get on that.
That's what
that
Rob and I were saying. We want to hear a mariachi version of the X-Men theme.
Oh, dude.
If somebody does that, we'll totally animate a X-Men cartoon.
Like a little trumpets.
It's got to sound a poppy and joy instead of all hard rock. Yeah.
God damn it. Edward James Olmos, Danny Trejo, the X-Men.
Get some accordion in there, you know.
Fuck yes. Oh yeah.
Like I have the Spanish or Mexican version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe theme, and it's actually got lyrics. And somebody was telling me that a famous rock band from down there actually did it back in the day, I guess. But it actually has full lyrics through the whole song. Yeah.
If anybody out there
doubts lyrics,
if Tom is a nerd, don't have any doubts, please. Tom is a nerd.
I'm a very big nerd. I've forgotten more shit about stuff I love than I remember.
There you go.
That's how big of a nerd I am.
Ashmead is
hey, welcome back, Mary.
What's up?
She had to help her son. Well,
awesome.
Yeah, I know her son. She struggles just like I do with mine. So I hear
give our best to Logan.
Yes, her son, not the one.
Well, her son is named Logan too.
I know that's what I was pointing out so people knew what you meant.
But you give your best to my Logan too. He's
and you have a Logan too.
I do. He's playing Spider-Man on PS4 right now.
DJD has that Masters of the Universe theme, evidently.
I'm going to listen to that when we're done here. That's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's pretty good, actually.
Oh my god! If I could pay a mariachi band to like play the X-Men,
the song is exactly the same. It's just that it actually has lyrics. But I would love to hear a mariachi version of the X-Men theme or the Masters of the Universe theme for that, man. Any theme. I would buy a whole album.
X-Men. X or Hombre X. Is that? I mean, our Spanish speakers out there, don't laugh at me because I don't speak Spanish, but
I don't speak much either.
Hombres X, maybe, because I know the beer is Dos Equis. Okay, because I ordered a lot of them when I was in Tijuana when I was 16. They're little 6-ounce bottles. They're really cute, and I got really shit faced and ended up in a Tijuana jail. But we don't want to tell that story. Not on your podcast. They don't feed you in Mexican jails, by the way. You have to have your food brought to you, or you starve. At least they did back in the day.
It's an easy way to escape.
Oh yeah, I just got to pay somebody. Yes, Hombres X. Okay, so Shaq3666 says Hombres X.
Okay,
there you go. I listened and I believed.
The next man.
You want a link to that? We got to find. I don't know where it is.
I'll have to find it. Yeah. I got it on a CD, but that's because I bought that massive He-Man box set.
Hombres X save the day. X-Men. That first song that they had, the first theme song.
Oh God, that was horrid.
Yeah, with Australian Wolverine.
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 I got claws. That's not a claw. This is a claw.
Yeah, look at this, Bob.
Oh God. It's like, guys, fuck that up.
They really did. How do you get that wrong?
Well, not only that, he's supposed to be Canadian,
Yeah.
You should get Rick Moranis to do it,
Oh. My name's Logan, and this is my brother. Yeah. My other brother Logan.
Hey, hoser.
Hey, hoser.
Back off. It's my beer. Hey, I'll cut you.
Dude, I wore that album out when I was a kid. I wore that fucking thing out. I did not stop listening to that. That is the greatest comedy. Fucking so good. Good day, you hosers.
Good day, y'all. Yes. Yay. I love that movie too. Strange Brew. Oh my God.
Oh, it's very so unsung good.
Movie. Very unsung. People love, if you guys want to discover a comedy that you can never believe is funny as hell, that's one of them. Of course, what am I talking about? Most of our audience has probably seen it, but
yep. You want good 80s nostalgia.
Oh God.
Fuck yeah. Got your Ghostbusters guy in it, okay?
Yeah. Rick Moranis is amazing. Rick
Moranis. SCTV, but Doomcock was just talking about that. Fucking SCTV was as good, if not better, than Saturday Night Live at times back then. Especially when the original not ready for primetime players bailed, and it was just Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo and everybody else.
Well, like 99% of everybody who was on SCTV became somebody.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, you look at the Saturday Night Live casts, you had maybe 2 or 3 people out of every cast that became somebody after the fact. I mean, even some of the original cast had some struggling times,
Yep.
So it's like, you just pound for pound, everybody who came out of there. You had Eugene Levy, John Candy, and Rick Moranis, and Thomas, and God, the list goes on and on. What's the name of that one dude? I can't think of his name now. He's in Happy Gilmore, and he's always fucking with him. People out there will help me in the chat once. I can't think of his name now.
I'll look it up.
But it wasn't who else came from there? Oh my God, there's just so many. It's like crazy. But yeah, and then
Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara.
Yep, Catherine O'Hara. That was
Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis, Joe Flaherty.
Joe Flaherty, that's his name, yes.
Harold Ramis.
I was just going to say Harold Ramis. Martin Short, yep.
Robin Duke and Tony Rosado, which is
Tony Rosado is another one, yep. God, that show is crazy funny. And I don't know if is there a complete set of that out or not? I know there's like various greatest hits, but I'm a completist. I hate
No, I'm right there with you. And I would just accept this one on DVD. Actually, if it's like old crappy TV, I don't want a Blu-ray of it at all. Let's see if there's an SCTV. Because I would.
Yeah, it depends on if it was done on video or not.
Right? SCTV.
I know Mecha does this to me all the fucking time. But if you find a whole series, I'll probably end up buying it.
Wait, volume 1, SCTV volume. No, you got to buy it in volumes. That's fucking lame.
I'll have to look into that.
You can get what? Volumes 1 through 4 on DVD are $350. Kiss my ass. There's got to be someplace I can watch. Is it available to watch anywhere? Oh, you can buy them used for cheap, dude. Like really cheap. Just buy the used DVDs.
Yeah. Well, on Saturday Night Live, they don't have anything past the first 5 seasons out, which bums me out. It might even be the first 4. I don't even know if they have the 5th season out.
Yeah, I don't know. I would much rather have SCTV, to be honest with you. Because I didn't watch them enough. The old Saturday Night Lives, I just watched to death. They used to rerun the shit out of them and do the best stuff.
But there's a lot of them that got cut, especially in reruns. Now Hulu for a while had like every single one of them, but I only got so far before they took them off, because there's so fucking many. I even went through and I didn't watch every single one usually unless it was a specific cast, but I would at least watch the ones where I liked the guest. But I mean, I only got up through the first part of the 80s before they shut it off on me and didn't have them on there anymore. So now they only have newer ones or whatever and a few random older ones. But for a while, they had every single one of them. But I got the first season on DVD. And like I said, I know I can get the other couple of more, but the ones I really want are like the Eddie Murphy ones and the Chris Farley years and the them years up through there. Probably like everything up through like 97, 98, and then I'm good. They can keep it. And yes, I remember in Living Color, I have the first 2 seasons, I think, of that, maybe. That's one I got to finish getting the rest of.
Yeah, if you just get it, if you get each season used, you can get it for like $12 each.
Yeah, I usually just make sure that I'm getting everything, though, even if I have to do it that way.
Yep.
But I prefer to be able to get it all complete, obviously. So,
especially when you can't stream that anywhere. I don't think there's anywhere you can stream it.
Well, that's just it. It's like it's random when certain rights of things go out there to, that's like I said, I got so far into Saturday Night Live before they took it off Hulu. Prime example right there. So, yeah, and that's something I've talked a lot about with my industry people about Blu-ray and everything like that is how people are finally starting to realize how just because you buy something on iTunes or Amazon or Vudu or any of these places doesn't mean it's going to be there forever.
No. Back it up and then back it up some more and then back it up some more.
And even those, it's like you're limited on how you can back it up. In some places, I think even limit to how many times you can download it.
Probably.
And like I noticed my Vudu. What's that? Once or twice? Yeah, I think Vudu only allows it 3 times. 3 or 4. And I don't like it because I've downloaded it, but I can only view it through my computer. I haven't figured out how to get to watch it on like my PS4 or TV or anything because I have to be able to watch it through the Vudu app on my computer.
That's why people freaking pirate. I mean, you just get frustrated and you're like, Blu-ray, I'm gonna pirate.
Shit. Well, I may or may not be facilitating somebody getting some of the despecialized Star Wars film. It is.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
it's technically legal.
I may or may not be using a VPN tomorrow to watch Doctor Who in the good old UK. So there it is there.
Who's to say you're not in the UK?
Who's to say? Bugger that.
That's right.
Bullocks.
But they will find a way. We nerds will if you try to take it away.
Oh, yeah.
We're just like dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. We will find a way. But I don't want to keep you too much longer, sir, if you got something else to go on here.
We could jump off. Well, yeah, I should probably go see how.
I noticed it's probably getting a little later there for you.
Go see how
Mrs. is probably like, oh, yeah, no.
She's fucking out. She's out like a trout, but I got to make sure Logan goes to bed. But thanks for having me on and let me into your house and
absolutely anytime, man.
Meatball and you guys have a great chat. You really do.
I just don't want to keep you all night. I mean, it's like, and I thought there's Mary. I was gonna say, I thought we were gonna get at least a random to show up, but I haven't heard from her. She must be. I'm betting she's helping Doomcock with his OBS situation.
Oh yeah.
So.
It's all good.
She never.
She probably was like tired too. She just did her anniversary stream, and that could like be draining when you have like a really fun stream. You're just like afterwards, you're like, ugh. And she did a great job on her stream. And again, congratulations on 8,000 subs and somebody who changed her channel midstream.
Mm-hmm.
That is phenomenal what she did. So good on you, Mecha. Hail MechaRandom.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping she'd show up at least. I mean, I understand she's had a long day. I just wanted to at least tell her, congratulations and stuff. So, but hopefully she hears about it.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this Fireside Chat. It's been so much fun. Like I said, I don't want to keep Gary. So, I know there's so many of you guys still watching. I'd love to keep going all night long, but he's got a kid to check on. I got a dog to let out. And it's past 1 o'clock where I'm at, and it's probably getting near 11 where you're at, isn't it? What time is it there? It's like 10, quarter after 10, or is 11?
It is 11:15.
Oh, it is after 11. Yeah.
Mecca's doing a Discord thing, so she's probably doing like a anniversary Discord
that's
thing.
why.
Gotcha. Yeah, hail Mecca. Pass on hail Mecca.
Yep.
And by the way, if I could plug, I will have a Discord up tomorrow. Finally, it's been the much requested Nerdrodic Discord will be.
We should do one of those. Everybody said it.
Should.
I want to get Andre on there though. That's the trouble is getting him. He is so busy and
the Discord.
He does not like doing live thing. Because I'm going to tell you guys this, full disclosure, it's buried at the end of this video. Nobody's going to hear it anyway. Most of what you hear of Andre, if it's pre-recorded, he sped his voice up.
Because he's a measured man.
And I don't think he'd hide it anyway, because I think people said something to him early on to where he's like, I got to speed it up. And that's one of the reasons why he doesn't do it live, because he's very, like you said, measured, and he takes his time explaining everything when he says it. And I don't have no issues with him. I don't know why you do it, man. It's like, I'll listen to whatever you got to say, because it sounds like it's the most important shit I'm ever going to hear, as long as it's coming from you. It's like, and he's very specific on what he generally says. I mean, he'll fool around and he'll goof around. Don't get me wrong, and he'll shoot the shit just like any other guy too. So, but it's just, I don't know why he's so worried about it. To be honest, I think he's just self-conscious about it, I guess.
Yeah, it's it's tough. It's fucking easy for us now, but I mean, I remember the first time. Well, we didn't know anybody was watching. So that's that helped a lot. We're like, what? People are watching? Oh shit. There's a chat, huh? I had no idea. So yeah, now but it's not easy to do this. It's you gotta be able to talk.
I had to channel my inter-radio self, because I actually, when I first got out of high school, I first got into radio broadcasting.
Were you the college?
And I had guy? I could have been. But no, I actually went to school for it. Like, that was all
broadcasting. Okay.
Broadcasting and video producing and a couple other things. And it was so long ago that the school I went to does not do radio broadcasting anymore. It's one of their curriculums. Yeah, so like I had to channel that after a while. When we first started, we had 40, 50 people probably watching, if that, on a normal basis. But then we started having so many issues that we just went to the pre-recorded shows again. But people kept asking about it, and I noticed the algorithm change and seeing guys like you doing it all the time. And it's like, you know what? Let's try it. It's all right. Sometimes we stumble too and say things that we definitely would have cut out any other time, but you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, I'm like worse when I record videos because I'm conscious of it. And when you're live, like there's no net.
I'm a much better reader when I'm live. Yes, and that's in, because if I'm trying to do a video, you're right. I flub every other line, and it takes me 10 years to record something. Tell Cameron, tell Andre, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Oh my god. All right, yeah.
Well, Mary, a big thing about it is he doesn't give himself enough credit. He speaks better English than Rob and I do, but he's always worried he's going to say the wrong thing. And I'm sure, like, if you're trying to speak any language that's not your native language, you're worried about saying, I love the beautiful coconuts on that lady or something like that, and not meaning to, or something stupid like that. And I can imagine it's the same way for him. He doesn't want to slip and say the wrong fucking word sometimes. And we keep telling him, dude, you don't give yourself enough credit, because he's a dream to edit. Of all of us, he's the easiest one to edit his audio. He fucks up the least, and when he does fuck up, it's the easiest to edit around.
Yeah.
Now, Rob and I are nightmares.
Yeah. I am for sure. Oh my god!
I'm going to talk about that
last manifest one I did. I patted myself on the back as a skills on an editor because I just tell you guys. So I missed an entire scene when I was doing the recap, so I just cut it in. I did it at the end. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that scene, so I just did it and threw it in. and you can't tell
It
because
happens.
I barely moved during the whole thing, so I was so
Oh,
tired. Yeah. It
oh, you
wasn't
did
just
it with
audio.
video too.
I did it
That's
with
right. Oh
video,
shit.
so you can
Oh
kind
god,
of
that's
tell a
worse.
little bit. Yeah, it was like, but I'm like,
You gotta
fuck
have
it, I don't care.
cutaways.
And you
Just
know,
get some close-ups of your nose or something.
exactly right. Look at that.
Thailand Ranger is correct. But if we didn't have live, we wouldn't have Mex-Men. Yes, that would have gotten
Would
cut
not have
out.
Mex-Men. We
That
got to
would have
work on that.
definitely gotten cut out. That's what I'm saying. There's some gold in the cutting room floors that will never see the light of day in some of the shit with Rob and I and other stuff we've done in the past with other people, because there's just no way.
Exactly.
We've had to temper ourselves quite a bit.
Andre is awesome. I think if Andre came in live and he just saw some positive affirmation, I think he'd feel much better about it, because he is awesome.
Yeah, he is. And he wanted to try to do some live things, but I think he didn't understand. And I don't like talking about people when they're not around, but he didn't really understand. I don't think that we needed to advertise it a little bit more. So I think the next time we do, he realizes that now. So hopefully the next time, because he was a little disappointed that he thought more people would show up and stuff like that, especially when we had Doomcock on and stuff like that. But
that takes a while to build an audience, though, and you know that.
Yes,
like
yes.
For our Friday night show that we do, we've been doing it for almost a year now, a little
Right.
10 months. So it's taken us 10 months to get anybody watching, and now like I'm really stoked that we get pretty much 1,000 views on that, which is, they're usually really long, so that's pretty good.
We actually did really well. It's just for him, he had high expectations. Because I think we had like 300 viewers at one point or more.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, it's gonna take, like, if you do more live broadcasts at any set time on the same day every week for a year, believe me, that'll quadruple out. I mean, more people will be there. The being on time all the time does help. Like,
the problem with him is he just can't. He likes to be able to, but if he commits to something and he misses it, he feels so bad. And that's the state with him. It's like there's so many times where he has to cancel on us and he feels horrible. Like, it's like, yeah, he would feel I'm sure he would feel really horrible if he had to cancel a live stream. It would just, yeah. So I think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't done as many since we've done the first two. So, but we'll see. I'm sure we'll get him to do more, because I've been trying to show him and convince him, and
they are Blue Cat 42 creatures of habit, and hey, those who try the most fail the most. It's okay. It's okay to cancel a live stream. A very forgiving audience out there. There's really
we almost canceled this one.
Yeah, we did.
Canceled this one because we thought Doomcock was going live, but lo and behold, I guess we checked in, he was goofing around with his OBS and accidentally fucked up. But we're like, oh, dude, if you're going live, we're not gonna, because Doomcock doesn't get a chance to go live so often. We're definitely not gonna do that to him. So
nah. All right,
but
anyway,
man. Yeah, we're gonna take care. We're gonna take care. We're gonna wrap this up. So why don't you guys take care? I can't even talk anymore, so that means it's time to quit. Take care, Gary. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's a huge pleasure. We love having you on here. We always get such great feedback when you're on. So definitely the door is always open, as always.
Back at you, man.
Tell the guys where they can find you.
Mary Ashmead, the wonderful wrench lady, has put the link in the description. It is the Nerdrodic channel. We recap television. We also do news stuff, and really like what we just did tonight. We do basically a shoot the shit podcast once or twice a week live. We love for you to join us. We love talking to you guys in the chat. That's what it's all about. Everything we do is live. So if you like that kind of thing, we're friends of Tom and Mecha and Doomcock and Anti-Trekker, and there's a group of cool people that we like to hang with.
You review a lot of television shows and movies.
Yeah, we just recently
and you got Friday Night Tights.
Yes, Friday Night Tights is at 7 p.m. every Friday. We have just reviewed The Haunting of Hill House. We reviewed Maniac from Netflix. We reviewed Doctor Who last week. We'll be reviewing it again tomorrow. We just did a whole Venture Brothers season. We're doing a retrospective on Sunday. All kinds of stuff coming out.
I think you said something to me about being on Friday Night's Tights this week.
Yeah, I want to get you on. I want to have Tom on next Friday. There you go.
with bells on. I'll be going to Halloween Thursday night, so I'm sure I'll have something to talk about.
Oh, good. Yeah, tell us how that is. You and
hoping to
Susan
go
can
for
talk
MEAD.
that way because
Oh,
I'll
yes.
probably. I know Dennis will go too, so you guys can talk about it that way, and I don't have to go because I don't like those slasher movies.
That's right. I forgot you're not a big horror fan, but oh yeah, I'll definitely be there, and we'll talk about more than just that, of course. So
We'll talk Titans for sure. We'll
oh boy,
talk Titans.
Maybe I should get it just to see it. All right. Well, I'll think about that. Till then, definitely check out Nerdrodic channel, and you also have a website, and it sounds like you guys do a lot of stuff on your Patreon as well. So check that out. Check out our Patreon, of course. If you're heading over to MechaRandom's chat, or you're already in there, tell her we said hey. I might hop in there myself here, see what's going on. So take care, guys. Thanks for joining us here once again on Midnight's Edge, and thank you so much, Gary, for taking your time to hang out with us here on this Fireside Chat.
Thanks for having me again. It's always fun.
Thank you.